Hello, 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 everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Boy, oh boy, do we have a lot of information to go over on this case. We definitely do. A lot of information. The PI has spoke out a lot, and I'm going to bring that to you guys. Hello, Front Green Tomatoes. Hello, Michelle Tucker. Hello, Mood Rover. Hello, Auntie M and Karen and Audrey and Jessica Lynn. Angel and May and Jody Landis and Jody H and Angie Gibson and Aunt M. How are you guys doing? Hey, Christine. Hello, Patty Ponytail. I'm gonna put the link out here for Christine and Lady of Love to come up. Hello, Millie RN. Hello, Pink Butterfly. Hello, Elaine Delgado. Delgado. Hello, everybody. Oh. I have been definitely. Come up, Christine. Doing some research. And my wonderful Lady of Love has been doing some for me as well. And speaking to the PI of Kiley Rodni.
I'm excited to see what Lady of
Love.
Love found out. Oh yeah.
Right. Hello, Red Road, Red Homestead, and Dorsey Girl. Hello,
I'm
hello,
walking the
hello.
beast. I'm walking the girl, so I'll
Oh,
be
are you
on mute a
walking the
little bit.
girls? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I'm glad you come up with me. Uh,
Yeah.
hello, Rita and JPL. We got some big red flags coming your way. Oh yeah. But the PI has definitely been speaking up. Also, would you like to come up too, JPL? You can come up here with us since you've been boots on the ground as well. Hello, Rita. JPL. Rogue House. Hello, Linda.
Hi
Jody H.
everybody.
Hello, Brooke. Hope all is well. Everything's good on this part, other than y'all seen I lost my baby calf. I lost another calf yesterday. And
That's
I've been,
number two, right?
yeah, the second one
You
from the same.
was
And
it like one of them
hello,
was
Judy.
a milk calf and the other one was a beef
One
calf?
was the first one that died was a Holstein, which is a dairy cow, and then the
Uh,
beef calf. She was fine running around the day before. They all have bad diarrhea. They call them it calls them SARS, and we've been treating them, and she just he found her dead. JPL
it
said,
might be. Is
"Sorry,
it hard to? Oh, go ahead.
go ahead."
I was just
Hey,
gonna say, is it hard to treat them since they have three stomachs?
it's very hard to treat them. Right now, we're giving them where their diarrhea is so bad. We're giving them electrolytes. The other one is due for an antibiotic, and um, right now we're just watching them closely. Plus, I have a new
Whiskey's
baby
gonna make it.
girl. Huh?
Whiskey's gonna make it.
I hope Whiskey does. I'm getting ready to give him another shot in a couple days. Hello, Nora Woods. Hello, Linda. Hello, Heather. Oh, thank you guys. I'll show you the baby goat. He's in the house here with she is. She's tiny. I'll show you
Her
her.
name's Cookie.
Yeah, the
Little
babies
Cookie.
named her Cookie, so I couldn't say no because they wanted to name her. Hey, German
That's a cute
Shepherd
name.
Mom. Hello,
Hi
Pink
everybody.
Butterfly. Hershey Squirts. It's what it's called. Oh, okay. It's
Hershey
okay,
squirts.
Creative Spirit. Hello, Joe Petblock. I hope the puppy who died. I had a puppy who died of parvo. Yeah, that makes it hard. Parvo does too. If you can get them through parvo, they do good. Hello, Lady of Love. Come up.
Lady
Uh,
of Love, we're ready for you.
hello,
To wow
Rapunzel.
us.
Hello, Real Sunflower. Y'all, we got some really good info here today. And after let me put my link out here. Sorry. Um, after the AWP video that came out, I was watching Dolly Vision, and somebody come on there the other day, last night, and was talking about if the car was upside down, she would have had to crawl through the seats because the seats would have been at the top of the car. Therefore, she wouldn't have just floated to the back hatchback.
Oh, that's a good point. Good
I want to
point.
show you that as well. I want to
I didn't
show
think
you
about
a
that.
video of where exactly she was, just so it can clarify it. Hello, wise old lady. I have a German Shepherd puppies due on the 5th, getting close. Oh, how exciting!
I think another big red flag is she didn't have her shoes on.
Yeah, and the window was broken out, and the other window was down, and the PI is saying, we seen where the PI said that she was not single, and there was another man involved, and it was not Jaggered. We seen where the I don't know if anybody caught that.
Lady of Love, how you doing, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
You've been a busy girl, haven't you?
You got another something.
Lady of Love, how you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. How are you, Christine?
You're echoing, honey.
Am I echoing?
You are.
Yeah, you got to shut off the Facebook. Facebook. Shut off YouTube.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, just go through StreamYard.
That's what I thought too, moving over that hers was on.
Shut off.
The other one was the sheriff's
There you go.
name.
You got it.
Yeah. So yeah, they brought that up as a good point. Did you watch that Lady of Love? Where'd she go? We lost her.
She must have shut off the wrong one.
The emergency break off. But I want to show you where he she didn't have pants on either. No way she would have followed the clearance between.
She didn't have pants on.
I don't know for sure about that. I've not heard that one.
Me either.
But like Dolly said, the girl that called in on Dolly's last night said, "There's no way." Hello, Deborah Ann. So there's no way that she could have floated back there between them seats. She would have went up against the bottom of floors of the car and would have had to crawl back to the hatchback.
Yeah, and if there's a video too there's a video that's out there too that shows somebody shows that exact model of the car.
Yeah, let me get that right quick.
You don't have very much space. There's like 6 inches of space and in the seats and the back. So unless she goes through the middle, but I mean, I think if somebody was in the car like that, they would have to swim through there. I don't know if it's possible.
Guys, we have a lot of good info. The PI has been talking, hasn't he?
Yep.
He has been talking. But first, before we get into that, I want to show you this video that will show you exactly where Kiley was in that hatchback. I want to show this to you, okay? So, hang on just a second.
I'm going to mute myself.
Me too.
Because we got a lot of good stuff here. Get ready to come out on this one. Hang on just a second. Okay. Let's see if we can find it here. This right here is perfect. Right here, I want to give credit to Criminal Gossipers for this video. But there's a lot of good insight. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Let me get my bell. Thank you for the super sticker.
Everybody cover your ears.
Okay, hang on. Let me get
Lady
my bell.
of Love, check the back chat, will you?
Hang on just a second, you guys. I got to ring my bell because she gave me a super chat, which I'm so grateful for because a lot of people's not been donating a lot. I've only get a few super chats anymore. I'm not getting a whole lot. So thank you, Michelle. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you so much. That really does help my channel because literally we get pennies for views. So we depend on our super chats to help support our channel. And that helps our channel grow because we literally, I think my last video was 4 hours. I made $11 off of it because the views, you get paid nothing for views. So thank you so much who support my channel with your memberships and super stickers. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Sorry about that. All right, let's go. All right, this, like I said, is credit to Criminal Gossipers. It's very, very informative, and I want you all to see a little bit of this. Here we go. I'm going to fast forward it just a little bit. Because this right here actually shows you exactly where she was. Okay. Oh, thank you, Michelle Tucker. Thank you again.
There's been a lot of information that's come out today having to do with Kiley Rodni's disappearance.
Hang on just a second, okay? Thank you again, Michelle, for supporting my channel with the super sticker. Thank you. We got a lot of good information coming in on this channel tonight, you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, here we go, guys. Very informative here.
The circumstances surrounding what happened, which led up to that night when she was last seen. But first, I'd like to welcome you to my channel. I want to thank you so much, each and every one of you, for joining me, for clicking on the video. Thank you so much.
This is Criminal Gossip.
It has come out. It's been happening, what people are talking about. It has come out via Adventures with Purpose, the rescue team that had actually found Kiley Rodni in the Prosser Reservoir. Adventures with Purpose was the team that was fortunate to go to the reservoir, and they found Kiley in approximately 35 minutes. It was two from that team. It was Nick and Doug who went to Prosser, and they very quickly were able to see some kind of a reflection, an image, which they thought to be Kiley's vehicle. Now, more recently, they have let out a new video, which they have posted here on YouTube, and their video shows us images which were seen by Nick, the scuba diver, which is part of their team as well. Nick was the one that went down. He saw the vehicle. He saw each one of the windows. We can see that he is recording as he's going down. He is recording, and he can see each one of those doors and windows, and he goes all the way around Kiley's vehicle. He shows us that the passenger side window, the front window, was actually fully opened. According to their video, it says that the passenger window is broken out, but later he says that it is open. So I am not sure at this point if the window had been broken or if it was just maybe rolled down all the way. I guess they will confirm that later, but
I do have to stop and talk about this to keep from getting like a copyright. So she says that the window was broke out. I heard Nick in the interview say that the passenger side window was already broken out when they found it. And the back side, or maybe it was the front back, was rolled down halfway. Okay, and later on, I'm going to show you a statement that has been taken down by the PI stating that Kiley was not single, that she was in a relationship with another guy, and it was not Jaggard. I do want to point that out. We'll show that here in a little bit too. But let's finish this because I just wanted to show you guys. This shows you exactly where she was at in that hatchback. And once you see that, you're going to say, there's no way she could have got in there floating. There's no way.
But that window is fully open, and there is an image of that which I will share with you here on the screen. Also, there is another window which is down halfway, and that is the rear driver's side window, which they stated was down halfway. Now, what happens is we see Nick, he is down underwater, and he goes around the vehicle to look and see if he can find Kiley or any other human remains in the vehicle. And he makes his way from the front to the back, and it appears that he goes to the back, and that is when he spots Kiley. He comes around from the back, and he says that he has confirmed that there are remains at that point. And he's coming from the back of the car, and there is...
Okay, what you see here is actually footage of him looking in the back hatchback of the window. They've got it blurred out, looking at Kiley. Thank you, Juicy Jules. But this is where he is looking into the car at Kiley in this back hatch. Not in the back seat, but she was in the hatch part of this. Oh, there we go. Hello, Joe. Thank you, Jody Yates. Daisy, let's say a prayer before end live for Kylie's family. This is heartbreaking. Absolutely.
Good
Don't
idea.
forget to remind me, and we'll definitely say a prayer. Thank you, Jody. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for that support of my channel. Thank you. Okay, so I just wanted to point this out. This is the actual footage of where Kylie was at. They have this blurred out, but she's there and he can see it, which is sad. Thank you, Jody. We will sure do a prayer for her before we end this live tonight. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to finish it. We're going to go further. Okay.
There's one window which is on the side back of this vehicle, which is a Honda CRV. There's a window which is part of the hatchback portion of the vehicle.
Okay, here we go again. This is, hang on. This right here is the actual footage of him seeing Kylie. That is Kylie right there in that window, you guys.
Yeah, that's the back very rear window that goes into the cargo area.
Window. But I wanted to stop it before so we could show you. Let me go back to the actual. Hang on. Okay, this right here is what we're looking at. That, can you see my cursor, guys?
All the way in the back.
All the way back here is where Kylie was. She wasn't in that back seat there. She was in the back hatch.
The cargo area.
And you over the seats, upside down, through those seats to be able to get back there.
And she would have to swim to even get back down there, all the way at the bottom to even attempt to get back down there.
Right.
Yeah, she started out there. She started out in that back. In my opinion,
there's no way she could have got back there.
I agree.
Oh, no way. Oh, thank you, Dorsey Girl. Thank you, Dorsey Girl.
You guys are amazing tonight.
Thank you guys for supporting my channel. If she had another guy she was seeing, I wonder why he's staying silent. They're saying his name was Nate, but we'll show you all here that her PI does state that it's not Jagger. And I'll show that here in a little bit. But thank you for that super chat. Thank you so much. That supports my channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so yes, right here you can see in this very, very back, in that little small area, she would have had to have crawled because, like they said, the car was upside down. So that means she would have fell down this way. She would have had to crawl all the way across these seats to even get back to that hatch. There's no way, you guys. Not when the window was busted and another window was rolled down. I don't think so.
No, she had to have started off in the back hatch. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think she would have had more chance of going out that window than she did the back.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
And I also didn't see any glass. I mean, I guess it could be down underneath some silt on the ground.
They'll show it here. It'll show here, but yeah, she would have had to have crawled across the seats because she would have floated up to the floorboard of the car because the car was upside down. So she wouldn't have been sliding through here like everybody thinks she would have. She would have been going this way to get to this back hatch.
Right. Now, had the car been upright, maybe, just maybe, but since it was turned upside down, no way.
Yeah. And it filled up pretty quickly and probably flipped over pretty quickly. No way she found that area in the pitch dark either. Yeah, and probably under the influence as well. All right, guys. Here we go.
Rounded rectangular shape window. It appears that her remains, sadly, Kylie's remains were in that portion of the car. And so I'm sure that we will find out more and be able to see more or hear more confirmation as to exactly how that might have happened, if that's possible, if how she might have ended up there. But that is what is said when we watch the video from Adventures with Purpose. And so then what happens is that Nick comes up for air and we see that Doug is there waiting for him. And they then, he says that it looks suspicious from what he saw, and they say that they have to inform the law, they have to call the cops, and they have to inform the family. And so the first thing they do is that they call the family, and the family arrives very quickly. And Nick says, this is a quote, he says that she's in the back of the vehicle. And so from what I could see, as I said, it appears that she was in the hatchback portion, or you might call that the trunk. I don't know what you.
I want to stop here because I got a super chat from Miss Lady of Love. Thank you, Lady of Love, for the
Thank you, Lady of Love. Woohoo!
I love you, Miss Daisy. Thank you for all you do for this case.
Aw.
Oh, thank you, Lady of Love. Thank you. Thank you, thank
She's so
you.
sweet.
These cases, all of them.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you,
You're
thank you.
welcome.
Okay, guys, we're going to continue on. She's very informative. She showed us exactly where she was at.
You guys would call it, but it is a hatchback style vehicle where the trunk area or the storage area of that car is kind of wide open to the back seats. And so, it is, some people might call it a trunk, others will call it something else, I'm not sure, but it is kind of a storage portion, and it is quite small in that vehicle. This is one of the bits of information which they did let.
Okay, I do want to point this out, guys, for anybody that has not watched this. This guy talking to Doug here is Kiley's father, and this guy is Kiley's grandfather in the hat. They were the first ones on the scenes and the first ones notified. This is Kiley's father here, and the one in the hat is Kiley's papa, which is very, very, very sad. And if you go and watch the video of AWP, the father can't talk. He can't bear it. He can't bear it. He's so upset that he can't. And it's sad. But this is Kiley's father here, and you'll see the grandpa here in a minute. Anybody else want to add anything to that?
I would be brokenhearted. I mean, but you know what? I really think I'm glad that they did call the parents first, just so that they could be the first ones on scene.
Yeah. And we're going to clear some of that up and talk about some of that a little bit, because there seems to be some speculation about that as well. We'll talk about that here. Like I said, we got a lot of good information on this, and I don't ever mention other creators, but BHB's thumbnail says watch party. Oh, I don't know. Hello, Fox, Violet Fox. Miss Chewy's in here too. I've seen her. But yeah, I did want to show you. If you go back and watch the membership video, this is where the father and the grandfather comes up and starts talking to him, asking him, why was she in the back? Why was she not in a seatbelt? Because Kiley allegedly was very responsible, wore her seatbelt and stuff, right? Am I right, Lady of Love?
Yeah.
So she was pretty responsible. So she should have had her seatbelt on. And let me tell you something.
Unless someone put her in there and didn't put her seatbelt on.
Exactly. Like, unless, and if you watch this membership video, when Nick comes up, that's one of the first things he says is that there's foul play.
Yeah, and even on that other channel he was talking to, on Zab Girl's channel, he said he made it very clear that when the windows are down, or any window is down, that car drops really quickly in the water. It fills up fast.
Especially with the windows broke out and one rolled down, the car would have.
If there's two actually broken, what happens is if there was one, it may cause a tiny bit of slowing, but if there's two, it'll sink like a rock.
Yeah,
because the current flows through each other and weighs each other down.
Exactly. So she could have got out. Hello, get to the point. And the other Sharon.
Unless that window.
Remember this, guys. Put a visual in your mind. The car was upside down. So if she would have floated, she would have floated to the floorboard of the car, not the top of the car. So she would have had to crawl across the seats. Upside down, the seats would have been at the top. She would have had to crawl to get in that hatchback. And let me go back for everybody that is joining us now. I'm going to show you where exactly she was. This is very informative. Very, very informative. let's see, where did she show this? Hang on just a second. It shows it here where her, these silly things. Yeah.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, sorry, I'm here. Guys, I want to show you guys this.
He goes around the vehicle to look and see if he can find Kiley or any other human remains in the vehicle. And he makes his way from the front to the back. And it appears that he goes to the back, and that is when he spots Kiley. He comes around from the back, and he says that he has confirmed that there are remains at that point. And he's coming from the back of the car, and there is one window which is on the side back of this vehicle, which is a Honda CRV. There's a window which is part of the hatchback portion of the vehicle, and it's kind of a rectangular, rounded, rectangular shape.
Right there, guys. Right there is where she was found. Right there.
Yeah,
is where she was found.
She started off there.
Yeah,
I would bet money on it. She started off there.
that is where she's found. Yep. That would have been, think of this car here upside down. She would have ended up, let me get my cursor so I can show you. She would have ended up having to crawl. She would have floated up to here, having to crawl through here or through here, and then back down through here, all the way across here to even get to the hatchback
Window?
Daisy, can you flip that? Can you flip that image upside down?
I don't
Can you
know
flip
if
it?
I can. Let me try.
If you take a screenshot, edit, flip it, and then put it back up.
I don't know how to do it on the computer. I know that Dolly Vision did it last night, but this is another person's video. I don't think I can. If I was on my phone, I could do it, but I'm not on my phone. I'm on this Apple phone, Apple Mac, and I don't know how to do a lot on this Mac yet. So, but I will try to do it if I can eventually do it.
Okay, I wonder if I can do it
her
and then send it to you.
If you can, that would be great.
Okay, put it back to the car and I'll work on it while you're doing this.
Okay. This right here shows her actually in the back seat of this window.
And there is one window which is on the side back of this vehicle, which is a Honda CRV. There's a window which is part of the hatchback portion of the vehicle, and it's kind of a rectangular, rounded, rectangular shape window.
Okay, I'll leave it there for just a second, and that way you can flip it around for us, because this right here will show this. I mean, it would have been very hard for this girl to get to that hatchback, and you would have thought she would have went out the half the window down or the busted window.
Or do you want me to send it to you through Facebook or?
Yeah, Facebook Messenger. That would be great.
All right, I'm gonna send it now.
Thank you. But we're going to continue on here, and I'm going to let y'all listen to some more of this, okay?
It appears that her remains, sadly, Kiley's remains were in that portion of the car. And so I'm sure that we will find out more and be able to see more or hear more confirmation as to exactly how that might have happened, if that's possible, if how she might have ended up there. But that is what is said when we watch the video from Adventures with Purpose. And so then what happens is that Nick comes up for air, and we see that Doug is there waiting for him. And they then, he says that it looked suspicious from what he saw, and they say that they have to inform the law, they have to call the cops, and they have to inform the family. And so the first thing they do is that they call the family, and the family arrives very quickly. And Nick says, this is a quote, he says that she's in the back of the vehicle. And so from what I could see, as I said, it appears that she was in the hatchback portion, or you might call that the trunk. I don't know what you guys would call it, but it is a hatchback style vehicle where the trunk area or the storage area of that car is kind of wide open to the back seats. And so, you know, it is, some people might call it a trunk.
Okay, guys, again, again, this is the grandfather and this is the dad. The grandfather's got the hat on, and the grandpa's got the hat, and this guy with the checkered shirt is her father.
Did you get the picture?
Yeah, I'm gonna go over it after I get done with the video. We'll
Okay.
go. But thank
I
you.
just want to make sure you got it. You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to continue on. This is very informative.
Others will call it something else, I'm not sure, but it is kind of a storage portion, and it is quite small in that vehicle. This is one of the bits of information which they did let out in their video.
That's her grandfather.
Now, it does seem odd that the front window is completely down. It's either, like I said, broken, or it's rolled down before entry to the water. And so the window, which is the driver's side window, the driver's window appears to be intact from what I could see, and the mirror, it does appear to be intact from a very quick screenshot that I was able to get from what they shared.
So you can see
it
that
seems
the mirror
that mirror was actually attached at that time, but it was very fast, and it wasn't the full image of that mirror, but it does appear to be sitting as it should be, right beside the driver's side door. So at this point, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that the mirror and the driver's side window might have broken at some point when the car was turned right side up, is what I'm thinking. So let me know what you guys think of that, if you've heard different. If there's something which you're questioning at this point, let me know down in the comments.
That's the reason why they covered this back hatch up. Right there is because she was right there. That's where she was at. And you can see the mirrors broke here when they bring it up. But there in that area is where that baby was.
That's so sad.
That's so sad, you guys. I'm sorry, but it's so sad. I wanted this. I really believe in my heart, and this is my opinion, that there's foul play. And I think that's why they've not come out and cleared foul play. Hey, Angie Hensley. It's so sad, but I wanted to give you all a better picture here of what's really. Yeah, it does me too. Too blessed. It makes me want to cry. Like right now.
Can you zoom in on that?
Where it's a video, it won't let me. I wished I could. But it's sad, guys. Okay, here we go.
Comments, and I look forward to seeing what you all have to say. Now, there was something else. Jared from Adventures with Purpose, he was actually on another one of the channels. He appeared in a live stream. He called into the live stream, and he told, it was on the Zap Girl channel, and I have a link for you for that and the timestamp. And Jared said that it appears was towed out, that the wheels of Kiley's CRV appear to be turning. And so that would indicate, as per Jared, that the car was in neutral. And that is what it implies. That is what his opinion is, that the car was in fact, or that it seems, sorry, maybe not in fact, but that it indicates is the word that he used, that the car was in neutral, okay? And that, I guess that opens up a whole can of worms as to why in the world would the car be in neutral?
Okay, so you heard that too, that where Jared said the car was in neutral. AWP absolutely thinks this is foul play. So, yeah, why would the car be in neutral? That's what I'd like to know too. Duty Rhyme says they should tell if it's foul play so community can be on notice that there is someone dangerous out there. They need to.
Oh, they don't want us YouTubers to go and start searching.
Right.
Because it will be everybody on the table again.
So this here is Kiley's home, and there's the party location. So yeah, Somebody was wanting to come up, and I put a link out for you. You can come up, honey. I think it was Magic Angel was wanting to come up. You can come up, honey. I put a link out for you. I think Nick said it was in neutral. That's why it wouldn't start to begin with. Hello, D Lucky. It's so sad. I cried. Watched the full video. I cried too, Carly. I cried too. I don't trust the Sammy girl either, but I don't know. Magical Angel. I have to see your face before I let you come up, honey. I have to see your face. Okay, honey. Hello. Hello,
Can y'all hear me?
wow.
How are y'all?
Angel. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. My thing is how come I keep asking different people, but I still have not gotten an answer as to how come there was no tire tracks leading into the lake? Does anybody know?
They had a rain after that happened. They did mark some areas where it looks like maybe they marked tire tracks, but that can't be proven unless they say so. But they they did have a big rain that caused the water to go up too.
Okay.
Yeah. And this here is the location from the party to her home. This is the location. So I'm going to play some more here.
It doesn't look good, and it kind of makes my mind go towards more of a crime. But again, so let me know what you make of that. What reason would this car be in neutral?
Her home was beautiful.
There is so much more. We have found out that the very first part of the video from Adventures with Purpose, they had someone come out to them, a man named Nick. Now, this guy works for roadside assistance, and he says that he saw Kiley with some dude. This happened supposedly on the Saturday at around maybe 11 o'clock.
Or was it Buka Lake?
A.m.
Boca Lake.
Just around noon, he says that he got a call, and that he later realized, after about a couple of weeks, he realized later that this was the girl that is missing, who he had seen that day. And he gives a description of the guy, the male that she was with, that was wearing a cap, a black cap with the SF, similar to what we see Kiley's boyfriend wearing. Now, I want to say at this point that it is not confirmed that this was in fact Kiley's boyfriend, Jagger. They have not come out with a confirmation as to the name of this male. But this roadside assistance guy, whose name is Nick, he says that with his vehicle, he has a camera which is recording for safety purposes at all times. And so that's going all the time. And he has the recording of what happened that day with Kiley and whoever that male was there with her. The way that he explains it, he says that they are kind of going from side to side. I couldn't quite understand exactly what he meant as far as how they were moving around, but
okay, I understood it. I listened and I understood it. He said that the girl was acting very, very nervous, and the guy was. And the girl kept asking him how to buckle a seatbelt up, how to buckle up a seatbelt. And they would switch. They was never around each other, that they would switch out on sides. And they were acting very, very nervous. The boy's cell phone is what called into the record service to help. The girl's cell phone was dead. She said her phone was dead. He's saying that it was Kiley and a boy that favored Jagger. But now I want to show you where the PI said that she was not in a relationship with Jagger, that he implicates that she had another relationship with someone else. So let me bring that up, okay? I got to find it first.
What an odd question on how to ask how to buckle a seatbelt.
Yeah, she kept insisting on him to show her the right way to buckle a seatbelt. She was trying to get his attention, is what I
And
think.
what's super odd is that she didn't have a seatbelt on when she was found.
Exactly. But
So
he
what was
also
that question about?
he said that she had footage of that he said that they had footage on their cameras of, let me see, I got to go way back up here to find that, what he said.
I'd be interested to
I
see
don't
that
know.
footage, just even without sound, just to
Well,
see the
somebody
body language.
I believe the truck has 2 different cameras on it, like a back camera,
in
he
the
said,
front.
and a front camera. And he
Mhm,
was facing towards her car. So they've got
mhm.
some kind of footage of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah, but a truck driver actually came on, I think it was Bullhorn Betty's this morning, and said she was a truck driver, saying that it would take weeks for them to get that footage because it was through a different company. So let me see if I can find that where he states that Jagger was the
Yeah, later on after this, y'all, Lady of Love has some information about the PI, right?
oh yeah, the PI too. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go, guys. I'm going to bring this one up where the PI states that she was not in a relationship with Jagger. Well, not you take it as well. I'm not going to repeat it. I just want you all to. I'm going to read it and you all can go from there. Okay, this is what Steve, the PI guy, says. I honestly don't know exactly, although I believe the truth will come out. I know there was a guy, not Jagger, that caused some friction. I don't think it was genuine when Sammy said Kiley was single and living her best single life, or whatever that statement was. So, to me, he's saying there was some friction that night with another guy, right? What do you think,
Yeah,
girls?
that's what it sounds like to me.
That there was another guy besides Jagger, not Jagger.
Yep.
He
Living her best
specifically
life,
said,
dating other boys.
and there was some friction. Is it the
Yeah.
guy? So Lady of Love says Kylie's mom and boyfriend run the lodge. It's called the Lost Trail Lodge and is always out in the hills. They have a Facebook page for the lodge. It's where Kylie lived with her mom. Okay, now I'm going to find Christine's. I'm going to go down, find Christine's upside down. Did everybody see that? Where he's indicated that she's not with Jagger. So could that other guy not have been Jagger that she was with? Lady of Love, was you or somebody else that said that you told me what you thought this what was it you said you thought happened that day?
Oh, about this comment here?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's I think he's talking about there being an altercation or some tension between Sammy and Kiley over another guy. I was originally thinking that, but now I'm also thinking it wasn't Jagger. But I'm also thinking maybe, well, no, because he specifically says not Jagger.
Yeah. Could it have been somebody else? Was it you that sent me that thought that it might not have been Kiley that guy seen? That it could have been somebody else, another girl?
Yeah, after when we finished watching that one part I sent you the thing for, AWP goes over that like another theory. He kind of hints
Could the other guy been Sammy's ex-boyfriend?
Oh, Jagger.
Jagger.
Now that's separate than this. That's a whole other thing. That's what AWP was kind of hinting at another theory they were thinking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this one particularly on this post, he's talking about Sammy not being truthful about Kiley living her best life single, right? So he's talking about there being some dishonesty there with Sammy and Kiley.
So you think she's being facetious?
Yeah,
and
and
he said, I
apparently
know there was a guy.
Kiley was seeing somebody else, and it was not Jagger she was seeing.
Mm-hmm. So
That's
he's hitting some stuff here.
Yeah.
This guy here works with the mother side of the family, right? Or
He's actually really close with the dad and grandpa.
The dad and grandpa too. Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know about the mother, how close he is with the mother. I don't know what that dynamic is between, because it seems like it's very separate. I mean, if the stuff we're seeing online that maybe the mother and dad aren't so close. I don't know.
And I'm wondering if this could be like, Sammy telling Jagger, oh yeah, she's seen another boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, let me take that down.
This gives motive. It does get that if she was seeing somebody else, it kind of gives motive on, Jay's side.
Right.
Yep.
So just throwing stuff out there, just thoughts, nothing.
What did they mean by friction? That's what I want to know, is what did they mean by friction? Oh, so Christine got it flipped upside down for us.
Yeah, was he saying that's where I'm confused? Is he talking about? I mean, he's talking about there's not Jagger, but is he talking about that?
The guy and
Jagger,
Kiley.
the tension between Kiley and Sammy, or tension between Jagger and Kiley?
Over the guy, because evidently the guy was involved.
It is over a guy.
So this is what the car would have looked like with her trying to get out of it. So that, let me go over here so you can see. That means that here she is, and the car's probably like the front's probably down, and this is up at the end. So she would have floated up here. She would have had to crawl she would have hit that floorboard.
She would have had to dive under the water to get through that.
She would have had to dive and went across the seats into the back seat to the floorboard, and then crawled in that little bitty space to the hatchback, knowing there's no
highly
way
unlikely
she could get out of that hatchback.
I don't think that's that she could do that, because I mean the window was down. Why didn't she just go out a window if that was the case?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
right.
a fatal paper cut. Friction between another guy at that party is what I'm taking. Between girls, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Maybe that's where that fight came from.
Exactly. Friendly fights.
Friendly fights, yeah. You know what friendly
fights
fights turn into, don't you?
So this
they turn into some not so friendly fights.
Exactly.
Do you or Christine happen to have that? There's that picture of the girl sitting in the car, and it looks like Kiley in the back. The picture without the stripe across the eyes, though, because that one to me looks like Kiley. And if it's so, when you zoom in, the eye looks like it's swollen and her lip looks busted.
Oh no, I don't have that, but I'd like to see it.
People are just going back and forth with that.
I think so
to
too,
me,
Mars.
it does look like Kiley in the back of that car with the girls.
Yeah,
and she didn't look right to me.
Yeah, Sammy said there was friendly fights. But this puts it in a whole different perspective when you look at this car upside down.
Yep.
Because it would have been so much more easier if this car for her to float back there than to have
Daisy,
to go.
what's the make and model, and I'll go and see if I can find the inside.
2013
CRV.
I looked it up earlier, and it said from Google. This is from Google. Said that the Honda CRVs will not start in neutral. Now, I know there are some older model vehicles that, like, for instance, my friend has a Jeep that dies a lot, and if you put it in neutral, you can start it in neutral, some of the older cars. But evidently the Honda CRV, from what I looked up, says that you cannot start it in neutral. Just saying.
I want to put this out there. I think someone broke the window out of the car so it would sink faster. If the car window broke when it hit the bottom, Sammy or Kiley would have found a way out of that car. She could have found her way out of that car. The window in the back was rolled down. One of the windows in the back was rolled halfway down.
Yeah.
So Kiley could have, I would have broke the window out trying to get to it before they went in that hatchback. No, in my opinion, I don't think that girl put herself in that hatchback. I think she was already in that hatchback, and they'll be able to tell it on what do you call that? autopsy.
Yeah, there's no way for you to even know if that window was broken prior to going into the car, if it was broken in the bottom because there's so much sediment.
Yep.
So was that window? I mean, if it was broken, she would have had an easy way out. But there's no way for us to know that unless they come out and tell us.
Right. There's no such thing as a friendly fight. Everybody's like saying that.
Nope.
Yeah. So this girl right here, oh, bless her heart. If she was still alive when she went in that water, this must have been absolutely terrifying for her to try to get out.
Something weird with the whole the tow truck driver when he said that the way that they, like, anytime he would come close to her, she would go, like, obviously avoiding being close to this other person. I'm thinking that maybe that wasn't her. I'm thinking it might have been somebody else, and maybe they were maybe trying to keep the tow guy from seeing what was in the back or something. I mean, that's just my opinion, that maybe they were trying to keep him. They were trying to stay on each side of each one was trying to stay on each side of him. Whichever way
they would switch. They were never close. They would always switch out. And the girl was acting really, really weird.
But I don't understand why she would ask about the seatbelt, because Kiley, I mean, she seems pretty smart. I don't know why. I mean, if it was Kiley,
worried about
the seatbelt.
Exactly. That to me was a cry for help.
Either that's one theory I have, or either that, or the person or the guy that she was with, if it was her, maybe it was somebody that she was trying to get away from and was trying to hint to the tow truck driver something, and he just wasn't catching the clues that something was wrong.
Exactly.
Now, that's another theory I have about that.
Either that, or they were trying to keep the tow truck occupied to where he wouldn't go in the back hatch of the car and find Kiley.
All right, so I just went and found some interior pictures of it. If you want to show it, I turned it upside down so that you can see kind of what she would have to dive under to do.
Okay.
Looking at it, no way, Jose.
And you also got to think that when it's upside down, all the contents that are in her car are going to be floating around.
Yeah.
So trying to maneuver through the seats to the back hatch amongst all this crap that's probably floating around her, I just don't see her floating or making her way to the back. I think she was put in the back. Is what
I do too. Because look, she would have floated.
She'd have to go under the water to get through that little space. She'd have to dive under the water to get through there.
Yeah, so her head would have been here. She would have had to crawl here, go down, and crawl in these little tiny spaces just to get there. I don't see why I would not have done that. Because
this is my forte. I like the scientific.
She wouldn't have been crawling though. She wouldn't have been crawling though. She would have been having to swim down.
Yep.
Because the water's filled with water.
Swim down. Yep.
Or it's filled with water. Yeah.
So can you guys
panic too? No way.
Can you see what she would have had to done to get through there? Because the car was upside down. So, and you hear the baby go, sorry.
Amongst all the debris and everything that was in her car is now upside down.
Water, she couldn't see. It would have been nighttime, pitch dark. She couldn't see. That's the sad part, is that it was pitch dark in the middle of the night. If this was her, if she was still alive, she couldn't see. She would have had to go through. There's no way that girl would have made it back there in them seats. I don't think she would have had time, because her heart would have been racing. She would have been trying to get out of there other ways. I just don't see her going to that hatch. I think she was placed there too.
With one window broke and one window half down, why would she do that? She could just go right out the window. So, it just none of it makes sense that why she would go to the back.
Yeah,
even if there was a little air pocket, she had plenty of ways to get out.
She wouldn't have been able to see the air pocket.
Exactly.
able to see an air pocket because it was pitch black at night. Oh, thank you, Paula. Thank you for becoming a member of the Critters Crime family. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting my channel. It means a lot to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Dinner time.
It
No,
doesn't even.
sorry.
It doesn't even have to be pitch. It doesn't even have to be dark because in the daytime, when she's in that much water, the car's dark anyway.
Yeah,
everything's blacked out.
Exactly.
And you seen how mucky it was and how dark it was. Christine,
I sent you the dimensions.
Okay, let me go down right quick. Well, everybody knows what your name is, so it's not like
another thing that bothered me is when the friends were being interviewed, none of them seemed to be crying or upset. You know, here's one person
except for
saying,
Mags.
you know, this is my best friend, this is my friend, but you didn't see any really clear emotion of being upset that your friend is lost. Your friend, you can't find your friend and she's missing.
Yep.
In fact,
It looked more like
opposite.
emotions of cover up. We're going to get in trouble. We better do. That's what it looked like to me more of.
Yeah, it's just the opposite with the other girl, the Sammy girl. Now, Mags did cry. I seen her cry. I don't believe Mags has anything to do with it. The girl that she came there with, I think she left early and she didn't know. I don't think she had anything to do with it. But go ahead and tell them what this is right here, if you can, Christine.
This is the dimensions of the hatchback. So right there at the bottom, as you can see, if you look, imagine that flipped upside down. So those are the dimensions that she would have had to float through. Dive down. Now she'd have to have her wits about her. Okay. She'd have to be able to think fast because the window is broken. There's 2 windows broken. So what happens is when your current goes through something like that, where there's like open flow, it grabs it. What it does, it's like a suction cup and it grabs whatever it is and it pulls it under because the motor is weighting it down. That's why, you know, sometimes people tie a rock to something when they throw it in there. There's nothing that's going to hold it to stay afloat. You see what I'm saying? So what she would have had to do, if she was with her wits, she would have had to been fast. She would have had to say, okay, I'm going to try to get in this back of this hatch and maybe open the hatch back or something. It's just, there's no way. Look at the dimensions. There's no way. She'd had to dive under the water to get through that separation. The seats would have been holding her back unless she dived under the water, unless she started off in the hatchback.
Miss Daisy, I just wanted to confirm something because Top Cat commented that they said that there was 2 windows down. They made a mistake when they came up, and he told the grandfather because, you know, it's hard for them. They're all in the middle of the situation. They just got bombarded with the dad and the PI and the grandfather. You know, they all showed up on scene. So they made a mistake and said the driver rear was down, the passenger rear was halfway down. So there was a mistake made there, but the actual footage showed front right driver window was intact and up. Front back passenger window was halfway down, and the front what was that? The front broken passenger window.
No, the passenger windows broke out, and then the front rear, I think, was down.
Okay. It was the passenger or the driver window in the front was up. The driver's side window in the back was halfway down. The passenger window on the front was busted out, and the back window in the in the passenger side was intact and all the way up. And I had to go back and confirm that through the footage just to make sure, because he did make a mistake when he came up and talked to the grandfather. I did leave them a note in their comments too.
Blondie, I can't play the whole video all at once because I will get a copyright strike. But I will try to go over the important parts again so you can see it. But I do have to interrupt it because of copyright. I don't want to get a strike on it. Because my last video where I let people come up on the panel and play their videos, I got a copyright claim on it. So I had to cut the video. That's why the last video was cut. But I'm going to take us back and let you all who's missed it see the car and I'll try not to interrupt, but like I said, I will get a copyright.
Let's get started talking about what happened, what's been happening, what people
I will
are
try to
talking about. It has come out via Adventures with Purpose, the rescue team that had actually found Kiley Rodni in the Prosser Reservoir. Adventures with Purpose was the team that was fortunate to go to the reservoir, and they found Kiley in approximately 35 minutes. It was two from that team. It was Nick and Doug who went to Prosser, and they very quickly were able to see some kind of a reflection, an image, which they thought to be Kiley's vehicle. Now, more recently, they have let out a new video, which they have posted here on YouTube, and their video shows us images which were seen by Nick, the scuba diver, which is part of their team as well. Nick was the one that went down. He saw the vehicle. He saw each one of the windows. We can see that he is recording as he's going down. He is recording, and he can see each one of those doors and windows, and he goes all the way around Kiley's vehicle. He shows us that the passenger side window, the front window, was actually fully opened. According to their video, it says that the passenger window is broken out, but later he says that it is open. So I am not sure at this point if the window had been broken or if it was just maybe rolled down all the way. I guess they will confirm that later, but that window is fully open, and there is an image of that which I will share with you here on the screen. Also, there is another window which is down halfway, and that is the rear driver's side window, which they stated was down halfway. Now, what happens is we see Nick, he's down underwater, and he goes around the vehicle to look and see if he can find Kiley or any other human remains in the vehicle. And he makes his way from the front to the back, and it appears that he goes to the back, and that is when he spots Kiley. He comes around from the back, and he says that he has confirmed that there are remains at that point. And he's coming from the back of the car, and there is one window which is on the side back of this vehicle, which is a Honda CR-V. There's a window which is part of the hatchback portion of the vehicle.
I do have to stop this. I'm sorry, guys. I have to stop it before I get a copyright, but I will try to finish it so you all can see it. But this is where Kiley is. It's blurred out, but this is where Kiley is. Right? Am I right, Lady of Love?
Yes.
This is actually.
I'm not Lady Love. I'm sorry, but yes.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, she's in there.
That's Kiley there.
That
just
is her.
blurred out. Oh, thank you, Layla. Thank you for the sticker. Thank you. Thank you for joining our channel and supporting my channel. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. Thank you, Layla. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys finish this up. So, okay, they're going to show exactly where Kiley is for those of you who are just joining us. Okay, here we go.
And it's kind of a rectangular, rounded, rectangular shape window. It appears that her remains, sadly, Kiley's remains were in that portion of the car. And so I'm sure that we will find out more and be able to see more or hear more confirmation as to exactly how that might have happened, if that's possible, if how she might have ended up there. But that is what is said when we watch the video from Adventures with Purpose. And so then what happens is that Nick comes up for air, and we see that Doug is there waiting for him. And they then, he says that it looks suspicious from what he saw, and they say that they have to inform the law, they have to call the cops, and they have to inform the family. And so the first thing they do is that they call the family, and the family arrives very quickly. And Nick says, this is a quote,
father and the grandfather.
He says that she's in the back of the vehicle. And so from what I could see, as I said, it appears that she was in the hatchback portion, or you might call that the trunk I don't know what you guys would call it, but it is a hatchback style vehicle where the trunk area or the storage area of that car
Thank you,
is kind of
Julie.
wide open to the back seats. And so, it is, some people might call it a trunk, others will call it something else, I'm not sure, but it is
That's
kind
the
of a storage
PIC.
portion, and it is quite small in that vehicle. This is one of the bits of information which they did let out in their video. Now,
Hey,
it does seem
Tams.
odd that the front window is completely down. It's either, like I said, broken or it's rolled down before entry to the water. And so the window, which is the driver's side window, the driver's window appears to be intact from what I could see, and the mirror, it does appear to be intact from a very quick screenshot that I was able to get from what they shared. It seems that that mirror was actually attached at that time, but it was very fast and it wasn't the full image.
I do want to point out, okay, so this is daylight, and look how mucky that water is. And it's daylight, guys. Could you imagine how dark it would be in that car upside down at night? But look how mucky it is. You can barely see anything, really. So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay.
It's very, very dark in there. And this, I'm pretty sure he has a camera light. You can see the reflection in the window. So that's how he's seeing down there. He's using his camera to see. Do you see the light on the window there?
On the farm said it was Matthew. Who's Matthew? I don't know who Matthew is. But yeah, I wanted to show you all. I do have to stop these videos, guys. I'm sorry, but I can't get a copyright strike on. That's just part of the fair use. You only play clips of it. I'll play a little more, okay?
Of that mirror, but it does appear to be sitting as it should be, right beside the driver's side door. So at this point, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that the mirror and the driver's side window might have broken at some point when the car was turned right side up, is what I'm thinking. So let me know what you guys think of that. If you've heard different, if there's something which you're questioning at this point, let me know down in the comments.
Okay, I want to stop there. Okay, so you all, yeah, she would have been very, very disoriented. Hello, Fishing with Brian.
And Miss Shuey, I saw the same thing. I was going to say that they showed a picture of the drone where they were flying over, and you can clearly see the car. So I don't know how the sheriff's department missed this whole thing.
Well, the PI went back on his footage and found it on his footage, as well. So okay, so now we've got some input here on the PI. Guys, what we're getting ready to put out here is what the PI said. It has no reflection on my channel. These are just allegedly. This is just what he's saying. I'm going to let Lady of Love explain this because she's the one that actually talked to the PI. Like I said, it's allegedly. It's got no reflection on my channel. I just want to bring it out here that he did put this out. So we're going to put up what he put out about AWP. Not saying that I agree or disagree. I'm just putting it out there. Hello, Strawberry Monkey. Hello, hello. So here we go. I'm going to switch it over to the text between AWP or the Steve, the PI. Okay. I'm going to read this, okay? Because somebody's asking the PI questions. Mona Lisa says, since Kylie's parents are divorced, you don't know what type of dynamics they are between the mom and dad. They could be friends, cordial, or hate each other. If the latter, that could be why there's some breakdown in communication concerning Lori and Lori. The Steve guy said, I thought AWP is saying it's a Newman they contact. She's still married to Neiman. Kylie's father's last name is Rodney. It's not mom and dad in the case of AWP is talking about. It's mom and stepdad. And they went to the stepdad's family, even though the blood family was available.
So isn't he right there admitting that they did call that other side of the family?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
he says it right there, and that's why I'm like, I was confused, so I did message him on there. I sent you that too.
Okay. So he said, who said it was fake? Okay. Now this is all allegedly, and this is what Steve, the private investigator, is saying. And then you put AWP appeared on 10 to Life channel on YouTube. Here's a small clip and what he addressed. Can you comment? And then he said, further, they did not have contact information to get a statement from Sally. If AWP would like to provide contact information they used for Sally, the family would appreciate that information. The grandfather does not have SM, which is why he asked me to release this. What is SM? Social media? Then he put, this is shocking to watch people viciously attack the family of a 16-year-old deceased. You're just trying to kill them all with these comments. I am embarrassed. I considered myself part of this community. I apologize to the family. This is everything I stand against in my life. And this is the statement that the grandfather wanted to put out. Who is Sally, Lady of Love? Do you know? Lady of Love.
So that's how you do it. If you write a statement
Sorry, I didn't know I was muted.
Oh,
and it's not for. Go ahead.
Sally is the grandmother of Kiley.
Oh. Is it the dad's mom or the mom's mom?
I'm guessing it's the dad's side of the family, according to Steve's speech, a little, what he said.
Mm-hmm.
So it must be Kiley's dad's side.
Okay, it must be. Okay, this is the statement that the grandfather put out, okay? That the grandfather wanted to release to the public about from Steve. Statement by David Robertson, grandfather of Kiley Robin. Everyone, please stop this madness. Leave us alone. You are hurting our family, Grandpa Robertson. Statement by Lori Mae Herring, aunt of Kiley Rodni. Let this be known. Adventures with Purpose never contacted me, Aunt Lori, by phone or email. I return all missed calls. I found out about my great niece when two friends sent me a text as it was posted on social media by AWP. I received an email from my brother, David Robinson, later that night informing me that she had been found. I'm outraged that AWP said they contacted me. Lori Mae Herron.
I understand they're grieving, but AWP found their baby. They should, be a little bit more grateful that she was found.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry,
maybe we don't know about this PI. I don't know if he's trying to. I don't know what's your intake on this, Lady of Love.
I am really confused at this point. I told him that last night I made a comment to him and told him that, I've been speaking very highly of him on the channels. And I told him that I was a little disappointed in some of his comments because it seems like he's really throwing them under the bus on every little thing.
They found her, yeah.
Yeah, they found her, but not only that, I mean, they never stated on their video first and last name. They stated only first name. They said Lori and Sally. That was it.
Right.
Well, then he come out with this statement saying they said Lori Mae Herring, Lori Herring, but that's not what was said. It was never stated that way. So apparently, I did send you the other thing that their response, because they went to 10 to Life channel, and they cleared the air on that channel.
Yeah.
And I sent you that so you can show that too to go with this, because that's their response.
Okay. Thank you. And then here Steve says, Kylie Rodney's G-father and aunt asked me as friends to release the attached statement. Please understand being grateful to AWP for finding Kylie as distinctly separate from the pain caused by false notifications and wild speculations created by release witness interviews. And it's the same thing as what we just seen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about don't go through that stuff.
Okay. What about this?
Oh, I have not seen him come out and confirm that's true. I'm hearing that did not come from the mother.
Is this supposed to be the mother?
I need to, you know what, just say, hold on to, it's supposed to be the mom. Yeah, but a lot of people were saying that was fake. It wasn't her. But I'm actually going to tag him and see if he'll respond to me and say if that did come from the mother or not.
Okay. Okay. So, but they are trying to say that they didn't. Now, was that all he had to say about that, or?
I did send you other things. You might have to
take it down and then. Let me take it down. I'm sorry.
It's okay. The haters will come get me.
I'm sorry.
I don't have any enemies, but you know, people are not being very nice on the internet right now. So
no, they ain't.
But it's okay. Go to the other spot I sent you and put up their reply to that. I give you the timestamp.
Okay. Okay, the reply.
There's a video I sent you, the channel link.
Okay.
And then you can go to that timestamp.
Okay, so that's
10 to Life.
Oh, this link that you said it is Zavs for the link.
There should have been one in it. Let me check. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, so there's one that says Jared from AWP addresses drama on this channel. I sent you that one. And right underneath that, it's timestamp.
Okay. So let me click on that one instead.
Timestamp 3040.
3040?
Yeah, 30 minutes and 40 seconds.
Okay.
And this is Jared AWP comes out to clarify what, the names and
let me make sure I
clear in
brought
the
that
air.
up good. Hang on. I hope I didn't bring that down. What did I just do? Darn it. Hang on.
Yeah,
you'll get it.
Jazz girl.
If that was my child.
Huh?
If that was my child, I would have been way over there. I would have sent my information to AWP and said, if you find anything, please notify me.
I would be grateful either way that you count my child.
Yeah. I want to be notified first before anybody else.
I think a lot of it, though, is just hurt. They're just grieving and they're just lashing out. And I don't think they really mean to.
Well, if it wasn't for them, the law enforcement said not to search there, but they did because
exactly.
I don't know why, but they gave them a grid and they searched the grid that the police gave them, but then they also went a little further, which thank God they did.
Right.
Yeah, and it is Ellie's job to contact the family, not necessarily AWP. They did that out of the kindness of the heart because that's the only contact information they had. They were given.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just a sad situation. So I'm going to play this, okay?
Yeah.
What? Is it froze?
And then
there we go.
We'll wait here. I hope my my headphones are working great.
What do I do with my phone?
Great.
Credit goes to 10 to Life.
All right.
Yeah, 10 to Life.
Hi, Jared. How are you?
This is Annie from.
Here we go.
Yes.
This is Annie from 10 to Life.
Hey,
Hi, Jared. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's Annie from.
Here we go. There's an echo. You might have two tabs open.
I do.
Hi, Jared. How are you?
All right, is that better? There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, it's my 27th anniversary today. I only have a few minutes. I'm on
Happy
vacation with
anniversary.
my wife. I got to check out of the hotel, but I saw that you were live, and I just wanted to put something out there real quick. I appreciate you and everybody else, covering, what we, did for Kiley and her family. Sometimes misinformation gets put out there. Since I saw you online, and then, like I said, I only have a few minutes, I wanted to give you this information. That way you could help spread awareness of what's coming across most recently today. As you may have heard the other day, there may be a fake account, or it may have been, Lindsay's real account. We don't know as to that. If it is her, we understand her grieving. We don't fault her at all for attacking us if that was legit in her. We have a new one that's popped up today. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's legit. But let me tell you, the one that I have is that we have a new one from a Lori Herring. Let me just read it. I don't know if you've seen it out there. It says, "Please know that I am thankful that they found Kiley. I am Aunt Lori. They never contacted me." So first of all, we went from not having an aunt there to now we have two aunts. I don't know if there's a real aunt or not. I was put in the timeline. I was never contacted, even though in the original video they eluded, they were talking to me. And I don't know if you saw our original video where we actually had Lori, the aunt, in there, as well as Sally, the grandma. That's why the video was removed. It was false information. At first, I was outraged. Then I was really shook up. Now I'm sad that they felt that they needed to put up false video information. So one, we never put up anything that's false. We had the recording. Anybody that watched the original video, it had Lori's voice in there. The Lori that we have, that we made contact with, which was our family contact, is also spelled differently. So the Lori that we have is Lori. Last name is Nieman, Nieman, as well as Grandma Sally. So anyway, I want to make sure that that's out there. I don't know who this other Lori is. Herring, Herring. We've never made contact with her. So if she's real, legit, if it's a real account, 100%, what she is saying is correct, that we never made contact with her. The other Lori, we did 100%. So anyway, that's all I have. I have 6 minutes to check out, and I still have to pack. But while I'm here, I would love to address any 2 to 3 minute questions that you may have, so I can help you out as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you so much for clarifying. The amount of trolls have been absolutely unreal. I'll look at the chat for a couple of questions, but one of my first ones that I had for you is it confirmed that any footage was delivered to law enforcement from the tow truck driver?
So the tow truck driver doesn't have access to that. Remember, he works for the company, and so he was called out on the call. In the tow industry, for the newer vehicles, they all have cameras as well as microphones. He says that footage and the video and the audio has been locked down, that he was not able to go back into the system to review it. It's back at the home office, and where that is now at in the investigation, I have no idea. As I touched on before, even though we called the detectives that we had a direct line with, we had their actual cell phone numbers, that we called them on the spot while we were still there with Nick, they had never heard of this story. But as everybody knows, there were 1,000 plus tips that came in, and a lot of people filling them. So was it somebody over in Reno where he was actually called in, Nick was actually called in from, versus somebody over in, Truckee? We don't have this information. So when they say, well, we didn't have this information 100%, that detective did not know anything about it, does not mean that Nick is not credible, and that he did, in fact, deliver this information prior to us even coming to town. So we were not the first ones that were privy to it. He just happened to have seen that we were in town and tracked us down that night as we were pulling into the Best Buy parking lot.
Okay, great. Thank you. And is it confirmed Kiley was found in the hatchback area?
Yes, she was in the very, very back.
Is there anything you can share about, there's rumors, I don't know if you saw the beginning of this video, that she was perhaps unclothed. Is there anything you can share about the state in which she was found, decomposition level, clothed, restraints, anything like that?
Anything within a 2-week period, you're not going to decompose. You'll be, definitely waterlogged. But, anything up to 6 months, you're still going to be, a few, full, unless by chance you're like in the ocean. Marine life in the ocean will interact with a human body different than a body in fresh water that's normally left untouched.
Okay, and was she clothed?
That part, from my understanding, Nick was able to identify that there was a shoe on her foot and her leg is what he was able to identify. We have not discussed further. With me, it wasn't discussed further.
Okay. How long does it usually take a car to flip once it's in water?
Depends if the windows are up or down, but the front of 60 to 70% of the vehicles that we find are going to be upside down that we find underwater. Normally the vehicle will stay upright for a little bit, and then the engine, as the little image that you were showing, the engine bay is going to go down, and then eventually the water for the back. With the window at the back that was halfway down, now you have nothing that's going to trap the water. So therefore, this vehicle, in my opinion, is going to be underwater within 20 to 40 seconds versus a car that has all the windows up. Now you're looking at anywhere between 2 and 10 minutes, depending on the seals, the size of the car. A smaller car like this one, is going to float a little bit longer. I would guess if all the windows were up, about 6 minutes would be my guess.
Until it flips.
Those were, the one window was clearly down. Now the front side window that was actually either down or broken out, I cannot confirm whether it was down or broken. And if it was broken, did that happen after the vehicle already flipped and it landed underneath?
In all of the cases that you guys have done and their car has been flipped, have you ever found anybody in the hatchback area, and would it be tough for somebody to float back there?
Never in the hatchback area. It would be almost impossible for somebody to float back there, especially if the car is upside down. There's always that slim chance of being struck by lightning, in my opinion. As far as any other cases that we've found somebody in the hatchback area, we have found people fight.
Okay, I want to stop for. Did you hear what he said? A very slim chance, like being struck by lightning, to be in that hatchback area. And he would not answer the question whether she had clothes on or not.
Yeah.
That makes it sound suspicious, don't it?
And everybody needs to realize too is that these guys have been doing this for quite a while. And they're used to seeing these, their bodies and where they find them and all those things, if they were in the seatbelt, if they're not in the seatbelt. So
that's exactly what I was going to say too.
Yeah. So she did have shoes and socks on, but he did not confirm any other clothes.
Now that we did see shoes in the video, there was some sandals that you could see on, that were laying right inside the top of the vehicle when it was upside down. There was some black straps too. There's a pair of shoes just laying there. So she might have had extra clothes and stuff in her car, maybe.
Maybe I'm going to just kind of fast forward that or go back a little bit and let's listen to that again. I do have to pause, guys. I'm sorry. I know y'all want to hear what's going on, but I have to pause for reasons.
Commentary.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go, guys. Sorry about that. Let's listen to this again.
Water. Normally the vehicle will stay upright for a little bit, and then the engine, as the little image that you were showing, the engine bay is going to go down, and then eventually the water for the back. With the window at the back that was halfway down, now you have nothing that's going to trap the water. So therefore, this vehicle, in my opinion, is going to be underwater within 20 to 40 seconds versus a car that has all the windows up. Now you're looking at anywhere between 2 and 10 minutes, depending on the seals, the size of the car. A smaller car like this one, is going to float a little bit longer. I would guess if all the windows were up, about 6 minutes would be my guess.
Until it flips.
Those were, the one window was clearly down. Now the front side window that was actually either down or broken out, I cannot confirm whether it was down or broken. And if it was broken, did that happen after the vehicle already flipped and it landed underneath?
In all of the cases that you guys have done and their car has been flipped, have you ever found anybody in the hatchback area, and would it be tough for somebody to float back there?
Never in the hatchback area. It would be almost impossible for somebody to float back there, especially if the car is upside down. There's always that slim chance of being struck by lightning, in my opinion. As far as any other cases that we've found somebody in the hatchback area, we have found people fighting to get out, but in doing so, as the vehicle is going underwater and you're fighting for your life, the body is clung to and is trying. These images are burning in my head from past experience, that they are trying and they are fighting for life to get out, but they also already know that they have an access to get out. So here's the thing in this one, in my opinion, okay, there's no reason to be going for the hatchback unless the hatchback was open, which it was not. In another case that I had, 100% the side windows were up and the hatchback was open, and that's where he was fighting for his life to get out of the back of the vehicle. He did not make it. In this particular case, you have, let's say that the two front windows were up and that it didn't break until it was smashed underwater. You do have the side window, though, that was down, and in my opinion, based upon how far the window was down, as well as the distance from the hatchback area to those back seats, you have a much greater chance of climbing out that side window than you would a hatchback that's completely locked and sealed, that you're not going to have any access to get out of. There's nothing inside for you to pull to open that I know of. I don't own a 2013 CRV, so I don't know. But
Okay, guys, did you hear that?
Exactly what I said. Yeah.
Did you guys know how tiny Kiley was, right? She could have fit through a window like that. She may have broke it trying to get out, but he's pretty much saying that he thinks that she could have got through that window that was rolled down. Why pass up the window? Yeah, Top Cat. Daisy, I was thinking, was she already deceased? That's what I think he thinks too. I mean, she was tiny. If anybody could have got through a window half down, it could have been her. Now, a big mama like me, there's no way. I probably wouldn't even have fit through the window if the window was all the way down. But somebody as tiny as Kiley, in my opinion, fighting for her life, she would have got through that window. May have broke it out, but she would have got through it.
Yeah, none of this makes any sense, does it?
Yeah. And Riptide, here in a minute, we'll show you again the car upside down, because so she would have had to crawl, dip down, and swim to even get over those seats, because the way that it would, the way that it is, the way that it was. So yeah, 93 pounds and moved around good in a car. Yeah, so she was a tiny, tiny, tiny girl. She was very tiny. We'll finish it here. I want to let y'all hear the
But
rest
in my
of this.
opinion, based upon that distance of the rear and the hatchback area versus the window that was down, I would instead envision being, struggling for that last, breath to get out that window.
Okay, thank you. And you said that, I know you have to go soon, so I just have two more questions. You said that there was a shoe that was identified on Kiley while she was in that hatchback area. Did you hear anything about restraints or anything else that appeared odd?
No, I did not hear anything else that appeared odd.
Based on how many cases and recoveries you guys have made, what would you say if you had to put a percentage to this accident versus foul play?
With that one, I'm going to say that I'm not going to really put a percentage on it. I'm just going to say that we would not have put the title that we did if we did not feel that there's potential for foul play in this one.
Okay, and you guys have a couple of other videos you said.
Our reputation is on the line on this one, so we want to be very careful in what we say and what we put out there and how we do it.
Do you believe that she was in the hatchback area when the car went into the water?
That part I cannot 100% positively say.
Okay.
If I felt that way, then I would tell you 100%. I feel, Annie, that she was taken out and she was in the back the whole time. And here's my theories. I have my theories, speculations, and my wife and everybody in the group does as well. A lot of people are talking about it, and eventually that information is going to come out. And if by chance there is an arrest that is made, as you've heard, we do have two other videos that one of them, especially with the Nick, the tow truck driver, that has a lot more information that we would have loved to share, but we don't want to ruin somebody's life if this is not, legit.
So that's if an arrest is made, you're saying?
That's correct.
Okay, great, thank you. And you didn't see if the gear was in neutral, correct? I remember hearing you say that you weren't sure.
I wasn't sure, but at this point, it sounds like it's a moot point. And the reason why I say that is several Honda experts, as well as I saw a video late last night online where somebody owns a Honda CRV. They went out, they turned the car completely off, and the vehicle was able to roll while it was in gear. So we most cars in my mind, from everything I've ever learned is, cars not going to roll if it's in park. It has to be, park or drive. It has to be at neutral. But is that debunked? That's now a mute point in everybody's speculation at this point in whether it was in gear or not. So according to the Honda experts and according to this video, it sounds like we should not be, speculating at this point. It doesn't matter if it was in gear or not.
Agreed. And then, sorry, I lied. I have one last question for you. As far as
Oh, look,
I know. Hey, I'll call the hotel myself and get late checkout. I just have one more question. In regards to the contents in the vehicle, we were able to see just from slowing down some of the video footage, there was a Truly can, a phone charger, things like that. Can you tell us, was there a hoodie in there? Because I know there were 2 different hoodies that they were looking for. Was there anything obscure in there, whether a potential weapon or anything like that that was recovered?
This was Nick's first time underwater for something like this, and this is how you gain experience, is by going underwater for the first time for something like this. And so as Nick garners more experience, he's going to, be better about taking additional time to really, film and take everything in. I would hope that the law enforcement did take more time to film it while they were underwater with their divers. But as far as Nick and our team, I don't have any other additional information. I did ask about the perfume bottle that Nick, the tow truck driver, had mentioned, and my Nick did not mention that he saw a perfume bottle anywhere.
Okay, that's great to know. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes, go ahead. And if you're able to call in at another time, I would love to talk with you more. I have a ton of questions.
All right, sounds good. Again, thank you for your support. And like I said, if you can help and your viewers, if they can help spread the news about Lori and Lori. Like I said, at one point there was.
Okay, guys. Okay. Thank you. I got a super chat. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Got a super chat. Thank you, Grandma D. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you for your support, Grandma D. So what do you guys think of this? Wow.
I know that AWP did put out the video for the members, and then this morning, they put it out for everybody else. So I don't care what anybody says. These guys do an awesome job, and I support them.
Absolutely.
100%.
I do too.
I mean, they bring a lot, of families some closure, and they bring their family members home. So what they do is just awesome.
I agree 100%. They're absolutely, I think they smell something really, really fishy in this case. And it might be because of them. And the family has to think about it, because they found this stuff, that leaves people on Ellie's case to push forward to find out what really did happen. And if it wasn't for these guys, they might not have, the law enforcement might not have took it as serious as what these guys are taking it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And evidently the sheriff's department or police department or whoever was searching evidently missed a big, thing here where it took them 30 minutes and bam, they found her.
Right. Right.
I think what they do is just awesome.
They're awesome people.
And they do it for free.
They did it for free.
They do it for free.
And yeah, there might have been some mix up about family members, but in the video, I seen for myself that they asked them to inform the rest of the family.
Yes, they did.
To inform the rest of the family. To be fair.
And you know what else? People coming out. I know the PI has come out and said them putting this behind a paywall is all about a money scheme. No, this is how they do their work and go and find recover these missing families, loved ones. It's by this money. They take donations. They don't get paid for what they're doing.
No, they don't.
From
and
the
they get a lot of scrutiny too. I mean, look, I watched the video where people called the police on them.
Yeah.
They have to deal with a lot.
And really, it's up to LE is the one that usually comes in and does their thing and then calls the family. It's not usually the people that find the car. So they were being nice to reach out to those contacts. The only contacts they had.
Right. And if anybody who has not subscribed or become a member of AWP Adventures with Purpose, please do so. Please support them.
They have,
because
they have a lot of good content on there. And plus, they show
Yes.
they have videos showing how to get out of your car.
Yeah.
If you're in that situation.
And like on my last live, we only talked about like your pictures, and we watched Zav Girl, a little bit of Zav Girl, and then came up and started talking about Summer, right? I never played any of AWP's members only footage, and I got a comment. The girl just read the title and didn't even watch the video and started accusing me of playing their content.
Yeah, that's trolls.
And I was like, come on, you didn't even watch it. You did. I did not do that.
You know what else is? They said they don't care if people are sharing screenshots from there, but to play the whole video, they think is kind of,
Yeah, not right.
Yeah.
That's right. Absolutely. And that's fair. And that's very, very fair. How many in chat have bought a window popper since this tragedy? Yes, and how many people's lives could be saved by that? My daughter has one. It's got a thing that slides the seatbelt because my nephew was in a wreck up on a mountain and he flipped upside down and the car caught on fire.
Oh my gosh.
And he had a knife in his pocket to cut himself out of the seatbelt because he was hanging upside down in the seatbelt. Luckily, he had a knife in his pocket that he could cut himself out and get out of that car, or he would have been in bad shape.
Yeah, because they don't realize when those cars flip upside down, all that pressure's on that seatbelt. It won't just release.
And like if without a knife, there's no way you can get out. There's just no way. Hey, Ziggy V, how is Ziggy? Miss Ziggy, put your Cash App out I promised Ziggy that I would. Her baby has to have a vet. He's got cancer, and that's her baby Ziggy. And I promised that I would put her Cash App out for anybody that wanted to help with the vet bill. And she said she would even put the vet's name out in the chat. Put that out there, Miss Ziggy, will you? I don't remember it, or I would. But if you want to put your Cash App out there, baby girl, for baby Ziggy's vet bill, you can do it, sweetheart. I forgot all about it. I hope Ziggy's doing better, honey. Jake Cam says, I think Kiley was in the car in the back when the other two was with that's what I think too, Jake. And wasn't Kiley, but my thoughts, it was her. Yes, I think they were trying to distract him so he wouldn't see her in the back of the hatch.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that myself.
Me too. Girls, I'll be right back, okay? I got to run to the bathroom. Can you hold
Yes,
the phone?
ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll be right back.
Lady Love, you're in charge. Another thing that really got me was when I did watch the full video this morning, was you could tell that this tragedy got to the AWP guys. I mean, you could tell they were fighting back tears like no other.
They get emotionally invested in this stuff, and seeing something like that is horrific. And I believe this was Nick, the diver, his first time, with a fresh case like that, because they're used to working cold cases. Right. They're just now expanding, if they're asked to do something that involves, they only go to things, and that's another thing people need to know, is they go and work on cases where water can be involved, like, trying to find somebody in water, lakes or ponds or rivers and stuff like that. So that's the only way they can be involved.
Yeah. And I'm sure that, they have found, bodies in, cold cases, but yeah, but I just think what they do is just awesome.
Yeah, usually those ones are, the cold cases usually are broken. The bodies probably are pretty much bones by the time they find them.
Right.
Not fresh, that, and makes it harder because you can see the one, the person's face and.
Right. And Doug even said that he had a 16-year-old daughter, and I can only imagine what he was thinking, like, when that was confirmed that they found her. I mean, you know that these guys they have a heart. If they didn't, they wouldn't be doing this job and bringing loved ones,
right,
to the families.
AWP, they are amazing. And what they are doing for these families is, I mean, you can't take away from that. And I'm really I'm disheartened by the PI, some of the PI's comments towards them, because I don't think it's fair. And I think some of that is just them throwing him under the bus. I'm a little disappointed. I've been really speaking highly of Steve, and I do like what he does, and he went out there and offered to help find, give his time to help find Kiley, and he did a lot of work. But, some of the stuff I just feel is a little unnecessary.
Right. And if that really was the mother's account, I really did not like what was said about AWP on
Well,
her.
that we haven't been able to confirm. I'm going to send a screenshot of that and ask Steve on Twitter if that's even true, if that came from her or not. A lot of people are saying, most of the people are saying it's fake. So I just want to confirm before we even put that up again and discuss it. But the families also, what people need to understand is that they're grieving.
Yeah, they are.
And they're going to have so many emotions and frustrations. And I do see them.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead.
But even as a parent, a grieving mom, I would want to give them all the praise for finding my daughter, if that were the case. But
absolutely.
So anyway,
I'm gonna show you that car
upside
down.
Sherry, I do see you out there, and we love you.
Hi, Sherry. Let me show you the upside down car now. Hang on. Let's see if I can bring that up. The car upside down. I'll take this down.
And I need to get one of those things for my car because I don't have one.
But I don't even think I could fit through the window, to be honest with you.
Yeah, looking at that window, I don't even think I could even, the back passenger or driver's window there that's showing. I don't think I could even fit through that if it was halfway down. Because if you look at the seat distance, I mean, it's about the same. The back of the car does kind of go down more. I know she was tiny, so I mean, it's possible that she could have went out through that window. But going through those seats like that, especially the back ones, you have less space. I just don't see it.
Thank you, Jake, for that.
Yeah.
Everybody's this case has been very messy. I don't people creating a lot of unnecessary drama.
Exactly. I know that if it would have been me, I'm not a skinny girl, but by gosh, I would be sucking it in and trying to get through.
Yeah, definitely.
But as tiny as she was, she could have fit through that window.
Yeah, she was pretty. She looked pretty slender, so she probably could. I wouldn't know unless we was able to see this car, because I think it's bigger than it looks on pictures. And it's taller than regular cars, so it's really hard to tell.
Wait a minute, sorry about that.
I was so happy to see that demonstration though with that car, because it shows a lot. What you're showing them.
Puppy Love said.
This is what she was dealing with inside that car in the pitch black, you all. She would have been floating up here. She would have had to dip down and swim 2 back seats, each over each seat, to get to that hatch.
Yeah.
Over this seat, in between these seats. And then.
Yeah, and plus all the disorientation, like Sherry's saying down there too. You get so disoriented when that car's rolling, going back and forth, and then when it finally goes over like that. I mean, you're so disoriented, and it's pitch black. It's like trying to find your way in the, without being able to have any light.
Right.
Has everybody seen the video where they show what to do in case your car does go into a body of water, how to get out and all that?
I can show that. Let me bring it up. AWP did it, right?
Yeah, they did a fantastic job on that too.
Because honestly, the way them guys knew what to expect and knew what their plan was. But me, I think I would probably have gotten stuck in there because I wouldn't know what to do. So it's a good lesson to learn and, know
me as a nurse, when a person stops breathing, you got 5 minutes to do CPR. 5 minutes. And every 5 minutes that passes is a slimmer and slimmer chance of that person surviving.
I think in this model of car, because Top Cat said, can boot open from inside back of the car? Can anyone confirm? I think he's talking about the hatch. If there's a release button maybe in the back. I don't think there is. I think that would be in the front to pop it. And so you would have to go to the front and then get all the way to the back. And then, yeah, it's hard. AWP did talk about that a little bit too.
I'm trying to find it. Do you all know where they put it at?
Another thing is when you're
AWP, I'll
when-
look
The video of them showing how to get out of a car.
I'll look while you're talking.
a fatal paper cut said the Mythbusters dude had trouble even finding the door handles
Touches anything and so
once it flipped. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What now?
A fatal paper cut said in the chat the Mythbusters dude had trouble even finding the door handles once it had flipped. So yeah, you got to understand there's a lot of pressure with the water
and disorientation.
Yeah, that's the pressure is pushing the door, keeping the door closed. So best way is to get out the window.
Yep. And and we're not even talking about injuries. There could be injuries from actually hitting the water, and I don't understand why. Okay, I really believe that if she would have hit the water at a high speed, that the airbags would have deployed. What do you guys think?
I would think so.
The airbags was not deployed.
Yeah, and they were not deployed. So yeah, there would have to be a pretty big impact to hit that. That's another reason why I don't think it just drove down there. I think somebody pushed it.
Yep.
Because I think those airbags would have went off if that would have hit that water, like a full impact like that. That would have set those airbags off, right?
And these newer vehicles, all you got to do is fart and the airbags, release. So I would think that by hitting the water, it would cause the airbags to deploy.
Right.
I'm not able to find that either. It must be, I'm trying to find it in there.
Yeah.
We might have to watch that one another time because I'm having a hard time finding
which one is it?
The one where they're showing how to get out of cars. I can't find it.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. I want to play the one can I play the one that you sent me by Zav Girl?
Yeah.
What was that one about?
That was the one where AWP was on there talking prior to, the one we were watching last live. We didn't get to finish watching that one. I did send you a timestamp, a good timestamp for you to start at.
Oh, sorry. I don't think I should have that one.
I agree with you, Riptide.
Hang on, guys. I'm sorry about that. Sorry. This one. Which one was I? Hang on. Let me see which one. Okay, it's this one. Okay. All right. This is Zav Girl. Credit goes to Zav Girl.
Did you see the timestamp?
I did, and I think you've already got it on here.
She tried to give us every other detail there was.
See that I have two really big monitors on here as well.
Hang on, guys.
Let's talk about what private investigator Steve saying about the Kiley Rodni case. Today is Sunday, August 28th, and one full week after Adventures with Purpose found Kiley in the Prosser Creek Reservoir.
Yeah.
I'm going to send it to you again.
Okay, thanks. I'm going to play the Adventures with Purpose right quick. Some of the original video of theirs, not all of it, just a little clips of it.
Now you can find it.
Send me that.
For great training opportunity.
I sent it.
Oh, let me hang on just a second, guys. I got to find it and put it up before I. Guys, whoever's sending me messages, don't send me messages unless it's something to do with this, because I'm on here and I can't answer the. It's like when I get on here, everybody wants to message me, and I can't do it and do a live too.
Kiley.
All right, here we go. So, except for Jinkies, and then she don't count. because she's being a brat. Here we
Really,
go.
and another person, but they blew
Here we
that
go.
person's name out. I mean,
Okay, so go to 3 hours,
anything about
22
that
minutes,
at
and
all.
57 seconds.
So, like, why
You want me to
would
go to where?
why would you leave that detail out?
3 hours, 22 3 hours, 22 minutes, and 57 seconds.
3 hours, 22 minutes, and 57 seconds.
Yeah.
3 hours, what? 22 seconds? Or
3
22
hours, 22 minutes. You're almost there.
Okay.
Good enough.
Okay.
Give you more of a description to where you guys know who it might be?
It's, I mean, I think that everybody's already speculating, in any additional information that I would provide. So, I have to be careful in what it is that we do say and what we put out there for certain reasons. So, we put out what we can at this moment in time. And like I said, we will put out a lot more later on if it goes down in that direction that law enforcement take it.
So from everything that you've seen in your experience, if you had to guess, I mean, would you guess that there is foul play involved in this one? You had to guess.
I'm just going, I'll say this. I would not have put that in our title if we thought it was nothing more than an accident. It's open for, interpretation, speculation at this point. There's an entire other theory that it would blow your mind if I even told you based upon additional even just going with let's see, without giving away too much, and without me saying anything really. If you think about the two people that are moving around the vehicle, there could be more to that story.
He's talking without talking because he knows he
oh my god,
it's something that even in my conversation, if I have a private conversation with Ryan later on, will be a private conversation. I'm not even going to tell you, right? Ryan. I mean, because
I don't blame
to
you.
Their own conclusion at this point as to potential, but none of us want to be in a situation where it's defamation.
Exactly.
If it's not true,
right?
We hope that it's not. But if it is, then justice will be served.
Okay, is he talking about the kids that was going back and forth in the car? Is that what he's talking about?
He is talking about a possible nether theory, and he doesn't want to say names or name names, but it's another theory. It's just a theory, so it's no facts. But
what do you think it is?
He's alluding to, that they identified the man by picture, I'm guessing, and they would not say if that was Kiley or not.
That it might not be Kiley, it might be somebody else in her car, maybe?
Well, let me just my takeaway from what he's saying is that there's another theory that there was a gentleman and a female, and the gentleman was, he was alluding to the person being, to me, was Jay, my opinion, and the other person not being Kiley. Maybe I'm thinking maybe they're thinking that this was kind of like a setup to take away from the party. That's how I'm taking it. It's just another theory out there. It's not nothing set in stone or anything.
He's definitely hinting around there, though, ain't he?
Yeah, he is. And he said there's a lot more to the footage. So,
yeah, and they're going to release 2 more videos, they said, with more information on it that the guy has to say. But there was video footage of these people, and they could tell whether it's Kiley or not, I'd say.
Yeah, and he says he'll talk more about that in here.
Okay.
Sorry, I just have one more question. Was Nick able to say, look at a picture of Kiley and say, this is the girl that I saw, or was it more based off of the vehicle matched the description of her vehicle?
Right now, I'm still gathering some information based upon what I just hinted to you right now.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm gathering more information on that one. As far as who the male may be, I'm going to say that it was a positive match.
Oh,
yeah,
without saying.
Wow.
Oh my God. You say male?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
A positive match.
Yeah, because remember he said that the girl was with a male with the SF black cap on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what he's
So
talking about.
the other one was not a positive match, huh?
Oh my gosh. So how we're praying for Nick
He won't
Jared
say
too,
for
because we
sure.
know that was his first or
He
we're
didn't say
assuming
it
that's his
was,
first
though.
body. How's he holding up?
It was the he's actually holding up pretty good. You know, we debriefed again yesterday, and you know, had another conversation about it. And you know, your first one, you know, is always the hard. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say that. Your first one is not always the hardest. Each and every one of them, you know, even though, you know, we didn't know Kiley, we've connected with the story. You know, we're fathered ourselves. You know, we're brothers, we're uncles. You know, we're dads, we're grandpas. You know, and so we have that emotional connection. And you know, it used to really upset me when people would, you know, troll me and like, oh, you're just, you know, you're just a showman and you're just, you know, the tears are not real. It's like, no, everything that we've ever done is real, raw,
100% real.
Yeah.
It's
and so what
obvious.
and so you know, and so what you're seeing from Nick is what you saw a lot from me in the very beginning as well. And so the more I go and I do more of these, I almost feel bad that there's like that I'm not showing as much emotion because am I becoming, you know, used to it, or
And
am I
you
just
do.
internalizing
And
it?
you do.
You know,
Desensitized.
Yeah.
It does
That's what I was
happen.
gonna say.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
a crime scene
Speaking as a
investigator. That's why
nurse.
they show up and
Yep.
don't show no emotion.
Yeah. So then
You have to.
it's like, well, okay, well now Jared doesn't even care. Now Jared's just here for the views and he's here for the money, and you know, we're here for the families because again, coming back to, I'm a dad, I'm a neighbor, I'm a grandpa. You know, I have kids. You know, my kids are now 22 and 25. You know, whether they're 16 when they go, you know, if they would have gone missing or now, I mean, it's going to hit you exactly the same. And
it's always a little boy or little girl, no matter how old they are.
Yeah, and if that message from the mom is from her real account, I don't know if it is or not. I don't fault her and I don't blame her at all because everybody will go through a grieving process differently. So, you know, one thing that we don't do is we don't reach back out to families for a pat on the back. We move on to the next case to go help the next family. And we've been invited to, you know, probably 60, 70% of the cases that we have solved to come be a part of the memorial and we turn every single one of them down. And the reason for it is that is not our day to come and be the showman and hey, we were the heroes in this to solve this for you. This is your special day with your family to, you know, to honor and remember your lost loved one. And we're not here to distract and take anything away from them.
Thanks for clearing that up because that was something we were debating with yesterday. And one of the thoughts was everyone grieves differently and you can't judge somebody on their stage of their grief that they're in, right? But I'm glad that you said that and that you're making it very clear. We have a lot of respect for you here, and chat, obviously, they're just like throwing up hearts for you. Like everyone respects you guys so much.
And we want to wish you all the luck in the world in your future searches.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and then, you know, just a few more things. You know, we don't come into these based upon any rewards. We find that most rewards are just bogus and BS. To date, we have only ever once received a reward, and we split that evenly among the team members. And that way they can do and choose how to spend it that's going to best suit them and their families. I choose to reinvest. I choose to say what? Only one. Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're not real. They, you know, like the individual that you had
Yes, the PI,
Yeah.
for Jared Hall, yes, and he has been notorious for saying that he's going to.
This guy is genuine, you all, and I mean that makes sense. You wouldn't want people are grieving. You don't want to be the main focus of. I mean, I can see his point there. I can absolutely see it.
Yeah.
I heard Kylie had a new boyfriend too, not Jagger. Yeah,
That is
according
very
to what the
commendable.
PI said, that there was a friction that night.
Well,
Allegedly.
there was some friction there between some people.
And that Kylie was not single. And she don't know where Sammy got that from. So let's play a little bit more of this. I don't want to get a copyright strike. And then we'll.
I have more
We should
respect
give
for
awards.
Jared and AWP for that.
Me too. I respect them so much.
words out, and we make it
And
on
I
them.
think Ryan's going to give them probably a donation or the Hellcat. I don't know, because they talk about it on here.
Yeah.
In touch.
And anybody who hears this within the sound of my voice, who supports him after everything he's done, especially to Zav and to everybody else out there, if you guys care, it's truly disheartening to see that. So yeah, yes.
So now, from time to time, families will offer up donations. From time to time, when we know the family is struggling, we will have them put up a GoFundMe immediately that we help drive, the donations to cover funeral expenses, which is usually in the 5 to 10 range. And so, I advise a $10,000, funeral expense is what we do. We've done that for, probably 5 or 6 of the families that needed that help and that assistance. We've helped, fire departments raise funds for, underwater drones and to help them get sonar as well. That's what we're here to do, is to help the entire community. So, one, we'll never turn down. We'll always honor a donation if it comes our way, and or a reward. So, when the news came out of, the AWP doesn't, no, we do. It's not why we come and we do these.
Exactly.
We do, we took a big chance in coming in on a
girl
fresh
get all these
a
big
fresh
people
case.
on their channel?
Because most of the time they're going to be found within the first week or two, whether it's somebody in a vehicle or somebody that's simply drowned. If they've simply drowned, they go through 2 float cycles and they're going to be found. So we don't rush across the country, especially for a drowning, victim. We've also learned in the past, as you've seen the backlash that we receive, and they say no good deed goes undone. That we don't come in on these fresh cases because there's so many agencies and entities and egos and turf wars that take place, that we're not here to make anybody look bad. We don't really want to be a part of it. And that's why we have chosen in the past to only work cold cases that everyone has already forgotten about, that these families and the victims need a voice to be remembered and to possibly solve this. And that's why, we're quiet about it. Sometimes law enforcement knows about it. Sometimes they don't. We do everything by the book as far as, we don't trespass. We'll always get permission for any private property. Any public waterways, we don't need permission for. We have zero red tape, that we will go wherever we want. We will knock on whatever door we want. We don't have to go get warrants. It's just simply listen, I'm in the area. I'm looking for so-and-so. We believe your body of water is in an appropriate place where they could have gone off the road. And, 99.8% of the time, the homeowners are very, gracious in letting us search their property, because we're doing so, in a non-intrusive way. We'll put in the little boat.
Okay, I do want to point out that they normally do cold cases. They don't do fresh cases like this. So this one has threw them for a loop. One day, Miss Daisy,
exactly.
Grinding also have a webcam. Really does help. I know, guys. I know. I just hate to show my face. I know I look bad half the time. Half the time I don't look good, so I know I probably should show my face on here, but maybe one day I'll show it more. But let's see. Sammy isn't smart. All her talking just made her look suspicious. Backfired on her, in my opinion, a BS queen. Could be Moon Rover.
I think even now it makes her look a little more suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's very possible this was created to create a diversion away from the party and what may have happened.
I think she wanted that team meetup. This is my opinion, and my opinion only. She wanted, thank you, Riptide. She wanted to find out what those teens seen and what they knew. Yeah. And advise them not to tell. I think.
Or just because they had to fill out a piece of paper, she could have just kept the piece of paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any of their tips had to be written down with their information on it. And then she was supposed to give that. But we know that the PI said that she was outsmarted with that. So. Oh, yeah. And I'll show that again, too.
Boats in. We're on the water for 15 minutes, and I'll let you know whether there's a vehicle there or not. Mm-hmm. And then as you've seen, depending on, how many you've been watched, we're learning, at the end of the day, we're all just civilians trying to do something good to bring awareness and to solve the case. So in the beginning, the Iowa case. They're like, well, you know, they went to go sue for the $100,000. I was pissed. Listen, that reward, as we're learning, we didn't go for the reward, but it was offered. And so when the business owners decided to yank it the night before, after we found the vehicle, we reported it, and then, you know, law enforcement is coming in the next day to remove the vehicle. Law enforcement understood how important it was for us to be there. Otherwise, our viewers would come down on them because they saw what happened over in North Carolina. But the reward was yanked the night before. That suddenly it had expired. So it pissed me off. It's like, yeah, I'll sue you for it. But then in the end, it was like, that's not who we are. That's not why we came. And so if it's there and it's offered graciously, 100%. If it's not, if you don't want to honor it, I'm not going to hold you over the coals. It's not my fault. It's not on my shoulders, because I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing regardless.
So, Jared, they have a question. They have a question in chat, and I think it's important. I don't know if you can answer it or not. Do you think that you could tell us if her phone was found in the vehicle?
That one I actually have no idea. I have not heard anything, so I'm not sugarcoating it. I can't say yes or no. I don't have.
I got to bounce out, you guys. Jared, it's nice to meet you, buddy. Hey, I'm going to get your number from the email. Whatever we talk about is not going to make it onto a camera anywhere else. I can give you my word on that. All a man has is his word. Zav, you take it easy, girl.
Okay, I did not watch the rest of this, Lady of Love. Is there anything else on here that I should let people see?
Yeah, because he's going to continue talking after Ryan leaves.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So let's just move forward, because I know he doesn't talk much about that. Maybe
and after he's done talking, the rest of it's just their theories and them
glass
discussing
breakers.
it.
And I know you said earlier,
right? Okay.
There's some people missed it, that you're kind of trying to find this, find a way to get by this unscrupulous guy who's trying to compete with you.
Fingers crossed, if all goes well with the Shopify litigation team, we'll have them back online on Friday.
Woo!
Cool.
But if not, I mean, it could be 60 to 90 days before we have a new solution in place. But we will have them for the holiday season for sure.
Perfect, because after this case, I think so many more people are just like, this is scary. We don't want this to happen to our kids, our family members, ourselves. And we need a glass breaker that works, and we've seen what yours does. So, yeah.
100%.
And with that, 50% of the cases that we have solved, whether it was they were going to do it intentional or it was an accident. Of the 50% we've seen, they did end up trying to escape as the vehicle is finding that, bubble of air. And I mean, I wish I could just show, like what's going through my head right now is what is what's his name now? Thomas Thornton. Thomas Thornton is a veteran, onset of dementia, straight dead end road, and he was fighting for his life that he could not get out the side doors because they had already had water. The windows were up. He was able to pop the back latch, but he was not able to get over that last set of back seats to get out because he was too large, and he was just in that position of fighting for his life.
See how sad he gets right
I wish
now?
that, what are the odds of somebody going in the water and having to fight for life? I mean, it's very slim, but if you can give yourself or your family an opportunity to, have that chance to escape, because some that also went in the water in a on-purpose scenario, some of them also changed their mind. You can see that they were also trying to fight for their life after they realized they made a mistake.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think your instincts take over,
Wow.
It would be great if car manufacturers could keep this in mind and try designing something in the car that you could get the seat down faster or something. I don't know.
There's a company we're working with, but they're still probably a year and a half, 2 years out to market to where it will automatically lower the windows the moment that the vehicle goes in the water and the vehicle is upright at that moment in time. Once the vehicle goes upside down and the windows are down, it's going to sink almost immediately. But it's just not out there yet for that product. But this company does have the patent on it, and they're doing everything they can to get it out, and we're going to help them promote it.
But you're saying it will lower their windows when you go upside down, or can you explain that again?
When you're right side up and you hit the water and it senses that you're in water, it will lower the windows, all the windows immediately.
Wow.
Now, if the vehicle is upside down, you don't want the windows to be lowered because now the water is going to rush in immediately
and push you up.
So the vehicle will right itself for a moment, then it'll kind of, nosedive down, and then, at that moment in time, you still have time for all the windows to get out.
That's a question I want to ask you. With the Kiley situation, how do you think it flipped over? Can you kind of explain that, like which way?
Well, most vehicles we find, 60-70% of them are actually going to be upside down, and the reason for it is, they'll go in the water, and then because the engine is heavier, it's going to nose down, and then because there's air in the wheels where there's still air in the back of the car or wherever it's trapped, it's going to have the car rest a little bit, and then it usually flips over.
Okay.
Wow.
So it's how the air is pushed out of the back of the vehicle, or so. Okay.
Yeah, and so a lot of people were speculating, well, the windows are broken out, and I think there's only one that wasn't broken. Well, that was because the vehicle was flipped back over while it was underwater to then pull it out. Whereas those of you who've seen the members only video, you'll see that most of all the windows were up and intact at that moment in time when it was underwater. So, anyway, hey,
I have a question for you before you go, real quick. Yep. I want to get this clarified for chat and everything. The type of equipment and everything that you guys use, what separates you from what law enforcement has to do the job?
We don't have the red tape to where we have to beg for, hey, something new just came out that's better. We'll just go buy it. We are also not trained up on it. Once a month or once a year, we're out there using it every single day. You take a bass fisherman that wins all the tournaments. Why is he winning the tournaments? Because he's out there fishing all the time, and he knows how to read his fish finders and what this fish is. A bass versus a stripe or whatever. I mean, he's able to tell that because he spends so much time with it. In the same way that in the beginning when we started, everything looked like a car. It didn't matter if it was a 3-foot rock or it was a tree stump, or everything looks like a car. Right. And so now you'll see Doug and I especially, it's like 100% no, that's not a car. But we're able to take the 3 sonar settings that we have from down imaging, side imaging, and live scope, and be able to pinpoint. Usually it shows up on side scan first. Let's just say, all right, we have a target over here on our left 30 feet. Now we go over, we get closer and closer to it. Now we get over it, we can see it on down imaging. We can see it on live scope. And because we're using the little boat, like I think that what Doug and I were talking about this yesterday, if we would have had unlimited funds in the very beginning, it's like, oh, let's be cool. Let's buy the $250,000, $300,000, work boat that, the sheriff's departments have, and the front flips down. We wouldn't have had the success we have now. It's because we're sitting right on top of our sonar. We're in these little boats. We're able to pivot them. We're able to manipulate, the live scope because our hand is right there with it, and we're able to turn it and flip it. And I'll tell you, in 3 seconds, exactly what this is. If it's upside down, if it's right side up, you'll see that a lot of these take me a little bit longer. If they're the deeper they are, the harder they are to identify. Route brown, if it's in brush, it's going to be a lot more difficult.
Right now,
like
with
the doctor looking at an X-ray, they know what they're looking at, whereas everybody else sees it and it's just blobs on a X-ray.
Right now, with that being said, do you I've seen your videos many times. They're excellent. But when you come across, cases that, all your cases that, law enforcement has gone over that area, you come back, you find them. Do you offer any type of, advice, experience, any type of thing like teaching wise for the local law enforcement for if they come across something like this ever again?
Yeah, no, a lot of these law enforcement agencies, they are humble about it and wanting to know how did they miss it. And so we actually met with, I want to say, 15, 20 agents the next day, over lunch, that we had them bring their boats and we brought our boats and compared what were they using, how were they using it versus what we were using and how we were using it.
Like in your debrief?
They really did want to learn. And so that way they didn't have this happen again, that it, have a case where this goes on for 2.
And also, it's not just about equipment either. It's about, like he said, they go and do it every day versus someone that just practices doing it.
They're doing they're getting a lot more experiences by doing that every single day and not just doing it every once in a while.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like, okay, so I'm going to use this as a nurse, right? You've got nurses that work the floor, right? And they become nurses. They work the floor as nurses for years. They've seen it. They've got the experience. They go on and get their nurse practitioner. Therefore, they're very knowledgeable versus a nurse that never works the floor, goes straight through and gets her nurse practitioner. She has no experience as a nurse, and she's going into a doctor's position without that experience. She's going to be clueless compared to the nurse that's worked the floor for many, many years before she went on to be a nurse practitioner. Does that make sense?
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
So therefore, you're going to have a nurse that's just going to be kind of clueless.
Yep.
And I'm so glad that I'm sorry. Go ahead, Miss Daisy.
Go ahead. I'm done.
I'm just gonna say I'm glad he cleared that up because I was wondering the same thing myself. As you know, how they were able to miss it, whereas they found it, and that was something I had said earlier. So that does make a lot of sense how he explained that, and I totally get it now.
And if you watch the video by AWP when they're searching Buka Lake, they know where to look first. They know what to clue. They know that you can see all the way to the bottom in certain areas. They know the shorelines to search. You can clearly see they clear that lake out in no time.
Yeah, because they can also go around and they can see that if a whole hillside is impossible for the car to get into, they know they're not going to be able to get into that area. Or they can go in the grass lines and tree lines and see if there's any marks leading down to the water. Then they would know to look over there. But there's a lot of areas in the lakes that they're able just to disclude because, it's just impossible for the car to get there anyway.
Absolutely. It is.
Yeah.
And I want to show you all that. So if y'all hear a baby goat, just look away and pretend you don't hear.
Great training opportunity.
Cookie's cute.
Thank you. Hang on. These darn commercials, they get on my nerves so bad. Hang on, I got to bring this up. This is the actual video from AWP. Now that everybody's seen it, I won't have to feel guilty about showing some of the footage. Now, this is them going out and some of the footage.
The Placer
and you'll
County
see
Sheriff's
that
Department.
they know.
They did advise me that it got down to about 55 feet deep. And right now we are at 45 feet. Reading on live scope.
Hey, Mustang
Real
Barb.
consistent 45 feet here.
See, you can see the fish.
I cannot name who did, but it says the Truckee Facebook missing persons groups are on fire with speculation about what happened to Kiley. Thing is that some of it may not be speculation. It may be real clues as to what happened. The party, 200 plus, fact is there was a lot of drinking and drugging. Reported fights, some disturbing behavior between Kiley and a girl named minutes before the party suddenly breaking up.
Replay that?
Cars started flying in the parking lot.
Yeah, let's pause it for a minute.
Kylie and a girl named somebody had got into a fight.
So
reading live scope. Real consistent 45 feet here.
Listen to this, guys.
This just got sent to me. I cannot name who did, but it says the Truckee Facebook missing persons groups are on fire with speculation about what happened to Kiley. Thing is that some of it may not be speculation. It may be real clues as to what happened. The party, 200 plus, fact is there was a lot of drinking and drugging. Reported fights, some disturbing behavior between Kiley and a girl named minutes before the party suddenly breaking up. And then cars started flying out of the parking lot. Something bad happened and all the kids' parents told them not.
Did you hear that? Then cars started flying out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
So suddenly the party broke up and cars started flying out of the parking lot.
So that was already proven, right? Because they, yeah.
Except for the part where Kiley and somebody got into a fight.
So he's saying that was already, that
got hurt, didn't she?
Yeah, that was another little information bomb.
Yeah.
There was definitely a fight between Kiley and somebody else.
I forgot
and
about it.
I'm guessing who this was. My guess, I don't want to, I don't want to put her name out there, but I think everybody could say the same thing.
And that's why she had bruise on her arm and stuff.
Bruises on her legs and scrapes.
But what happened to where people got in their cars and flew away? Something bad had to happen. Something bad. Let me replay this, guys.
Credit to AWP.
Credit to AWP.
Yeah.
Real consistent 45 feet here. This just got sent to me. I cannot name who did, but it says the Truckee Facebook missing persons groups are on fire with speculation about what happened to Kiley. Thing is that some of it may not be speculation. It may be real clues as to what happened. The party, 200 plus, fact is there was a lot of drinking and drugging. Reported fights, some disturbing behavior between Kiley and a girl named minutes before the party suddenly breaking up. And then cars started flying out of the parking lot. something bad happened and all the kids' parents told them not to get involved. You may want to keep in mind that there's a possibility of what happened to Kiley could be more sinister, and there was a panic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
wow. I
that
forgot
part,
when
he
said
didn't
that.
say, yeah, he didn't say fact to that part. So keep that in mind, everybody.
He didn't, but
Yeah, but you know,
what in the world?
we already knew that it came out that, you know, Sammy and Kiley were not very
When they
close.
said that those cars started rushing out of there at 12:30, then her car her phone just suddenly went dead at the same time. Something happened at that party that people panicked.
And you know, Miss Daisy, they said that the person, the camper that was on the other side of the campground that witnessed all those cars going down at 9:30 and then coming up, they were down at the beach area on, you know, where they found Kiley's car. So it's very possible that something happened down there, and then that's when everybody mass exited at 12:30, and she was still down there with her car.
Wow, I agree.
So many
Hey, Noel,
possibilities.
Christine was up here. Top Dog is laying low. Sherry's over on Jinkies. Jinkies and Kirby's over on Jinkies. Jinkies is shady. Anyways, that right there is a huge statement to me. A huge statement.
Christine was here earlier.
Yeah, she's taking care of her grandma. Her grandma lives with her now.
It was a big statement. You are correct.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, the video was free today, but I'm still a member. So, wow. That's all I can say is wow. And then you've got the PI saying that there was a friction between them, but for a boy that night. So put 2 and 2 together makes 3 or 4. Makes 4.
I think there was several people involved in this.
There's definitely several people that know.
I would guess over 5 people. Safely, I think so.
Do you think young adults, kids would help if seeing a car go into a water? Like, would we hope? Or do you think they would just take off scared? They would get in trouble and kick out of college. Take off scared? Like, I'm getting the heck out of here. I'm not getting blamed for this. Listen, I used to be one of those kids that would hang out with other kids, and when something would go down, we'd all take off. Nothing sinister, but you know, like one time I was at a party. I'm just gonna put it out there, you guys don't judge, but I was only 16, and the cops got called. We were at an apartment complex, and I hid under the stairs, and everybody ran upstairs and felt like they was asleep. And when the cops came, they found me under the stairs, and they dropped us off at a convenience store, and we walked back to the party. But we did get caught. But we all ran and hid. We wasn't doing nothing but drinking. I was only like 16.
Well, yeah, you get scared. You're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll never forget the time that the cops got called to one of the parties I was at.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, I've seen some wild parties. Listen, I grew up in the mountains of Appalachia, way back in a holler where they jumped on they drank moonshine and they jumped on trampolines, went up about 100 feet up in the air and jumped through doors and windows. I can't
do a lot of crazy stuff.
I've been to the craziest parties I've ever seen in my whole entire life.
And you know, yeah, go finish. Sorry.
Like, I wonder how in the heck did I get there?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I pray. I was like, Lord, you had to be watching over me for me to survive that craziness.
The parties here in California especially, I know Truckee is a big party area because it's a big tourist attraction too. So these parties around here get pretty nutty too. And they go all through the night. So 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I never see a party end at 12:30.
No way. No. Something happened.
Yeah, something happened. In my opinion, something very, very much happened.
Buster, back in the day, we didn't have to really worry because, you know, nobody did anything bad but drink. Drugs
Right.
wasn't bad back in my days. Yeah, come up, Angie. Like we never seen anything like bad drugs back in my day. Just a bunch of drunks. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when you start dealing with these crazy drugs, then
That's when you
there's
get find
danger.
problems.
Yeah.
Not these days. It's not like when we used to have it.
Oh, hello, Miley. Go heavier. Sorry. Did what? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. I said these days it's not like the back in our days.
Right. We didn't have all this crazy stuff going on. I do say that on my way back to that party that night, I got in a physical altercation with a 21. No, she was 19-year-old girl that was in the Army. I was only 16. She beat the sheet out of me. She beat the sheet out of me that night. I woke up with a black eye, big knots all in my hair.
Oh
Everything.
no!
She about beat me to death.
I'll tell my quick story of almost getting caught real quick, so you're not by yourself. One time we we were at a friend's drinking, and we were all underage, and all of a sudden we heard cops, and a bunch of us jumped up in the attic. There's no telling. I probably have from bad cough from being up in this attic. There's no telling if there was asbestos up there or not. But we all crawled up in the attic and we stayed there. And the ones that didn't crawl up in the attic are the ones that got caught, and they all got taken away.
They didn't tell on you?
No MIPs and all this. And so, but we stayed up there for the longest time, and we could hear through the vent up to the top of the peak where the up in the attic, we could hear the cops. We could see them, so we knew when the cops had left. But we all come down and we all left, and it was like, let's get the heck out of here. We did not want to get MIPs because we were all underage. But that was the only time that I think I had ever gotten close to getting caught drinking.
Well, I'll tell you what happened to me. We used to have this club, and I used to get in when I was like 15, and I was with a bunch of alcoholics coming back. And I was like 16 at the time. I didn't even have a license or anything. And they got pulled over, and the driver went to jail for DUI. And so they told us to go to a hotel room, was across the street, and not try to go, and they wouldn't take them to jail. I wasn't drinking. I was the only sober out of the bunch of drunks. So they decided to put me behind the wheel driving the car while instead of going to the hotel, I was driving a clutch, and I didn't even have a driver's license. And I'll be darned if that cop didn't get behind me and I slammed on that clutch and hit the brakes, and he about hit the back end. Well, he loaded all them drunks up and took them to jail, and I rode in the front seat with him, and he just let me out at the jailhouse, and I walked home that morning because he knew I wasn't drinking. He asked me, he said, what was you doing driving? And I said, well, I wasn't going to let a bunch of drunks drive me. I said, so he just let me go, thank God.
Oh, wow.
Trouble. I wasn't drinking, though. I was just driving the truck to try to get their drunks home. And I got caught.
That is so cool that they let you go.
Yeah, that was Harlan County, though. Yeah, they ain't gonna do nothing to you. He let me ride in the front seat of the car while he took them to jail. I walked home in the middle of the night. So yeah, Daisy, old moo cow over here, has had her days. A little bit on the wild side as a teen, but like I said, back in the day, back in the day, it wasn't that bad. I mean, no, you didn't hear about drugs or anything like that.
Daisy was a bad girl.
Daisy was a wild woman.
Well, I was wild too, so you're not the only one. We were rebel with a cause, weren't we?
Yeah, we were definitely rebels. I was the biggest redneck. That's why I got whipped that night going back to that party, because that girl jumped onto me and I wasn't going to take her. And I could barely walk because I was so drunk. She like to kill me that night. I swear, she came running and punched me in the face, and I seen a white light, and that's all I remember. The next thing I know, I was on the ground. She was beating my head in the ground, and I was hollering, help, help. She liked to kill me that night.
I don't think that I ever got in a fight at any of the parties that I ever went to
I
that I
stayed
can
in
remember
fights.
anyway. I think it was a
I
good thing.
stayed in fights. I stayed in fights with grown women. 2 women one night, one time. They messed with me, and I was just young and had a bad attitude, and I wouldn't take their crap. You wouldn't know it now, but yeah, old Daisy Cow used to be a rebel. Lord, I've got down off on a soapbox now. I got to get off of
Well, me being, here in Texas,
Mhm.
I guess we just didn't fight back then. Of course, I had
Oh,
seen other girls fight, but I
yeah.
stayed out of the fighting drama. I just wanted to get drunk. That's all I cared
Yeah, me
about.
too. But doggone, when they start the trouble, they start on you, and you about half lit, and you from your daddy's a redneck drunk, and now here you are one. They don't combine.
Now, if I was to, I don't drink even to
Mhm.
this day.
I mean,
Back
I was never a drunk, but
right. It was fun, it was fun to drink before I turned 21, but once I hit 21, it was like,
me too.
wasn't fun anymore. So, and
Well,
I'm not
we're
much of a drinker,
grown.
so
Yeah, when I got 21, I was grown, and when I was young, like 16, 17, the give a care was gone. But
exactly.
as you get older, you're like more mature, and you don't want to. But
If I was to
yeah,
get
we're
drunk now,
past
I probably would pick fight. I probably would, if somebody picked a fight with me, I probably would stand up and try to whoop some butt. But back then, I just wasn't into fighting people.
yeah.
It just wasn't my thing.
Well,
But now,
it's just the opposite with me now. I wouldn't fuss with no one. I'd rather just go on than fuss. But now, somebody mess with my kids or puts their hands on me or
yeah,
try to hurt me or my family, they met a whole different level of cray that they ain't expecting.
Mama
right.
bear comes out.
The
Mama
mama
bear
bear
comes
comes
out.
out.
Yep.
The survival bear comes
That
out.
would probably be the only reason I would probably, be in a fight would be protecting my babies and stuff.
Hmm. Your family, or somebody break in with you. Because there was a man last year that tried to break in on me, and like my husband just left, and he must have just seen him leave, and he got right. Well, I got one of them oval glass doors, the big glass window in it, and he got right up against it where I couldn't see his face and was trying to open the door, and I kept telling him to go on and get the H out of there, and he kept on trying to get in, and I told him, I was like, let me get my gun. And he come over here where the air conditioner was, and I was afraid he was going to try to break it. I was prepared to fight, and then he ran around the back when he heard me say my gun, and I had my critters back there that just hatched, and I was like, he's going to get my babies. So I ran after him, and he got in that truck and took out of here like a B.I.H. But I would have fought over those babies back there,
Mm-hmm.
my critters.
If I see anybody hurting an animal or a kid, you better believe I'm going to jump in and say something
Yeah,
wholeheartedly.
medical marijuana is all you need. Let's see. Well, Angie knows how we are in Harlan, don't you, Angie?
Oh yeah, I've
We,
been going to the bar since I was 15.
Lord, but we don't
Mm-hmm.
mess with people unless they mess with us, right?
Right.
Right.
That's usually how it is in Harlan. You,
No, going to bars is crazy too.
yeah, oh yeah, especially there in Tazewell. The bars used to be in Tazewell, and then in Kingsport, Hog Wild.
Oh, let me tell you what happened to me at Hog Wild. Want to hear
Uh
it?
huh.
Okay, it's my first time ever going. Right, it's after
Uh
I
huh.
had my first son.
Uh
Okay,
huh.
it's me and and my cousin and a bunch of other girls. Well, we went over and we had a sober driver. Well, we get over, we all having fun and this and that and getting loaded, drinking.
Hmm.
Then some we even got guy. We even had this one guy want to pay us to show his girlfriend how to dance. That's
Oh.
a little awkward, but there's these Mexicans come up to us and started talking to us, and there's a couple that were single and a couple that weren't. Well, that one he like charmed her, so he had her in the palm of his hand. Well, our BD set her keys down on the table and went to go do something, and rest of us was, drunk and doing whatever. We didn't realize that he stole her car keys, stole her vehicle,
That place is
and
wild.
we were in the bar. He stole her vehicle to house the cops, and they tried to explain everything. They got cameras and stuff. He took off in it, and they finally found it. I said we had to hang out with the cops at the police station. All of us drunk except for the DD for about 2 hours over in Virginia. And while they found her vehicle, so when they found her vehicle, he had filled it up with gas. He had took the hubcaps off, rims or whatever, the little things that pop off. He had took those off. He wrecked it. Had all his crap in the back of her vehicle. Not in no suitcases or nothing. Just his clothes piled in the back of her vehicle. Xbox, homemade tattoo gun, and all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
He was getting ready to leave. He was going to take off in it, and they were searching it, and because I always tell my friends, don't take nothing in the bar. All I take is my ID and then my money, right? Well, no, these girls had their prescriptions, their whole social security cards, their purses and everything in there.
Oh no.
So when they got a car back, cops went through the search, and they pulled out a big fifth, and that cop said, "Who's that?" I said, "That's mine."
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
I didn't get home.
Go ahead, Ange. Sorry.
Oh no, you're all right. We didn't get home till about 11 o'clock the next day.
Well, me and my husband went to Hog Wild one time, and it was his workplace sent us to Kingsport for some kind of dinner, and afterwards we all decided to go to Hog Wild. That was the wildest place. It's in Kingsport. Don and Candace used to be there. That tells you everything you need to know about it.
Yeah.
Don and Candace used to be there, and
That's a good name. That's a good name.
Yeah, it was Hog Wild. You were standing in line and you were being squashed to get in there. That's how packed it was. There was people up on the bars dancing. People were stuffing money in their breeches. I ain't never seen wild in my life as I did that bar right there. We got to get out of there.
They did body shots too.
Yeah, it's wild. I was like, that's explaining it all. And I ain't been back since then either. So yeah, Riptide, you know what Hog Wild's about. Let me tell you, it was wild. They closed it down though. People got shot and everything there, didn't they?
Yeah, there's a boy that got stabbed there.
Yeah, it was wild. I ain't never been to a bar that wild before.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's wild, but yeah, kids do wild things, you guys. And when the going gets rough, they get the heck out of there. However, if it's a criminal case, I don't understand why they're taking their time. They know if this is a criminal case or not. They're just taking their good old time. I'm going to fast forward this to where they find Kiley in the water, because this is a long video, and this is where they find Kiley. These commercials. This is the saddest part, y'all.
We got a car. So trying to pull myself directly over it. Look at that. It's not.
This is Adventures with
Not
Purpose.
giving a good reading, but there's a wheel. You see it? We need to go get suited up. We need to figure out how to get our RV over here.
You don't want to bring a lot of attention to it.
You guys put us in this position. Everybody that supports us, y'all put us in this position. We wouldn't be able to afford to do this if it wasn't for you. Let's assess our situation. 18 different agencies, over 19,000 man hours have been put into this. Not a zero vehicle was found in this reservoir. That is giving me a really weird reading. It looks just like a car. It looks just like an SUV. And it looks like it's giving me some misreadings the way a newer car would. So amazing scan. Great job, man. Great job scanning that. We need to do this as quietly as possible.
You were able to get a magnet on it?
Oh yeah, and it's slipping. It's slipping on some of the vehicle the way a newer car would. It actually it's not getting a. It's smooth. I can tell that it's smooth. Is it a boat? It absolutely could be a boat, but I doubt it, man.
Most boats are.
Yeah. Right. No one at camp can know what we're doing.
Thank you, Gina.
Miss Daisy.
Yeah. Hang on.
There's another. It's up a little further because this one there, if you could still start here, but they got to go up and put their suits on still, and then they come back down to the water.
Let's do it where he goes under and finds it.
That way people will go and watch their video and give them.
Yeah, I don't want to show you. Thank you, Gina. This is where they actually find Kiley, you guys. Hello, Donna. Adventures with Purpose. Credit to Adventures with Purpose.
Confirmed. I see the vehicle and the license plate. We have just found Kiley's vehicle. Over.
I bet he's traumatized.
10-4. Do a full assessment, methodically, slowly. Make sure you focus on footage of the vehicle so that we can accurately relay that to the authorities.
The vehicle is upside down. I repeat, it is upside down. I'm at the rear of the vehicle now, working my way around towards the driver's side. Over.
10-4. I read you loud and clear.
I'm approaching the driver's side window, trying to get a look inside.
To stop this for a minute because I don't want to get a strike. This is Credit to Adventures with Purpose. This is the driver's side windows. You can see all the stuff. Yeah, he was getting choked up.
You can see. This is the driver's side front window. You can see that the glass is up and intact on this side, and also when he was swimming up, you can see that the mirror is intact.
Yeah, so I do have to take a little break from it because I don't want to get a strike from them.
So you would think that somebody mentioned in comments earlier about, stuff would have spilled out of that car, and it's very possible it did, but the silt's covering it up. The divers would have went back down after they got the car out and assessed the, the ground and stuff. So if they found anything, they would have pictured it and pulled it out as evidence.
Maybe they had that square taped off was put, whatever had fell out in that spot so they could go,
Yeah, we still don't know for sure, but I'm going to play the rest of it so we can see it, okay? There's a lot of junk that's upside down in it, ain't there? That window's broke. Look at that.
Yeah.
No, that one's up. You can see it. You can see the film on that one. That one's up.
That's
the one that's half down.
Driver's side back window.
Inside here. I'm looking at the back now.
10-4. Take your time. Be safe.
This way.
Makeup brush. I see a makeup brush.
This so broke my heart right here. You can see the two. Do you see the sandals? Black sandals? There's a pair of shoes.
I didn't see that. But you, a pair of shoes.
You can go back if you want.
No.
10-4.
Let's go
I
back.
read you loud and clear.
Let's go back to that. Okay. That's the front driver's side door here. Okay.
Mirror
you can see
intact.
the film. This is the back, and it's halfway down.
Identified anybody inside yet? I'm looking at the back.
And the back side of the car is facing
10-4.
to the deeper part
Take
of the
your
lake.
time. Be safe.
There you can see the sandal at the top right there on the right. Do you see it? There's 2 of those in there. Right there.
The window's down. She could have fit through that window.
Yeah, I think so.
There's the hatch, but she's not in that one.
10-4.
It was
I read you
dark.
loud and clear.
He didn't realize that window was down.
Oh, that's the back hatch. This is where he finds her. That window right there.
And these are the cargo windows, the cargo area, the very back of the car.
And this is her. There are human remains.
And that's her.
Vehicle over.
Is that her face?
10-4.
There, that one's broke out. That one is broke out.
He can't fill a window, so he says it's. Yeah, he says it on the screen.
Passenger window is broken out.
Broken out.
It appears.
She's on the back.
Mirror is intact there too.
Yeah.
Rear driver's side window is halfway down.
He just went back to confirm that
Copy
window.
that. Rear driver's side window is down.
Find the line and rear top side.
So that's so sad, you guys.
It is so sad.
When I watched this, I was like, oh, I started crying.
We can tell by that footage that yeah, I broke down right there too. It was a lot, especially right when they showed that side window there.
Look at him. He's about to start crying, y'all.
Yeah, he's traumatized. Hey, they said that.
Yeah.
Show this part because this is important for people to see too.
It was
Go ahead, Ange.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Here we go.
First person.
Yeah.
I think Angie's microphone is breaking up.
They're breaking up.
This is when he just comes back up, guys.
That's what we do it for, brother.
He's
Good job.
upset.
Good job. Positive.
Just seeing that girl back there in the back of that car.
Look at him.
All right.
Listen to what he says, though.
You can tell he wished he hadn't done it.
She's in the back of the vehicle. She's not in the driver's seat. It looks suspicious to me.
Yeah.
Do you hear that?
Vehicle's upside down. Some of the one window is halfway down. One window is all the way down. Call the authorities.
We help families all across the nation, and when we find
He was tore up, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
I would like to know if they found glass in the water before they moved it. I don't know, but I know that when they brought that car up, it was the driver's side window that was broke, wasn't it? When they brought it up.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was the damage that happened when they were flipping the car back over in the water. And the mirror got broke too. There's rocks down there.
Yeah.
Angie, we couldn't hear what you were saying earlier because your microphone kept breaking up. Did you want to say something?
Is it doing it now?
A little bit. Not bad.
Not bad.
Well, if it's bad, let me know and I'll go out and come back in or something.
Oh, you're good.
You're better.
All right, here we go. We're gonna replay this again. What he says.
Yep. That's what we do it for, brother. Good job. Good job. Positive, All right.
She's in the back of the vehicle. She's not in the driver's seat. It looks suspicious to me. Vehicle's upside down. Some of the one window is halfway down. One window is all the way down. Call the authorities.
We help families all across the nation, and when we find out, they are notified first. So we're going to notify them first. My very next call will be to local authorities.
You can see it from there.
Right there? Is the red thing?
Yes, sir.
How the could they have missed it? That's impossible.
There's the dad.
In our investigation coming into this,
This is the father and the grandfather. This is them telling the father and the grandfather about it, you guys. This is probably the saddest part of this video.
this is just what we do. We find vehicles underwater. We specialize in it. I don't know what you guys know, and we don't always know the why. We just try to find the where, and so I can't relate with whatever you're speaking on right now. The car is upside down, but that's common when a car goes into water because the wheels make it buoyant.
And the windows are closed, probably.
All of the windows except for one. Yes.
One's halfway down. Which one? One's all the way down.
So Nick is my diver.
Which window's up or down?
Can we pause it right here, Miss Daisy?
Driver rear.
Why are they interested with those and seatbelt?
So, Miss Daisy, this is where he accidentally misspeaks and tells them that one was down and one was broken, and he says on the wrong side on accident. But you go by what you see down in the water, and you'll see clearly what it was. Just for people that are asking.
Well, I mean, he's standing there having to tell these people that they're passed away dead family member, and he just witnessed this. So.
And this was his first fresh body, so
yeah, and he's only human,
I watched one YouTube thing earlier where they said the dad, the grandpa, and I think that's the PI. I'm not sure.
That is the PI, Steve.
Bum rushed Doug as soon as they come out, and he didn't get a chance to get everything fully straightened out and this and that. If you notice, apparently her dad was saying something else that Doug said he clearly doesn't know nothing about or what he's speaking on.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear it unless they muted it out.
Okay, I'll play. I'm gonna finish playing it. Okay.
Down and the passenger rear was halfway.
Is she seatbelted in?
No.
Is she in the driver's seat?
No.
She's not.
No.
She's
in the back?
She's in the back.
Yes.
I would recommend. It's your daughter. This your daughter. Dude. Do what you want to do. I would recommend this is not a part of that. Yeah.
It's going to be my last memory.
I'm Doug. Who are you with? Who are you with?
Detective with Nevada County.
Okay.
I want to be able to confirm everything that.
Yeah, behind me, the buoy we see the buoy behind me. 14 feet under the buoy is her vehicle. My diver.
At Tractor Supply, we know nothing feels better than doing things.
Yeah.
The specialty search and rescue team, Adventures with Purpose, say that they have located.
That's her grandpa sitting there with her.
They say they found Rodney inside her car, which is in just
14
feet of water.
Look
The
at those
team says
tracks.
they've notified family and law enforcement. Placer County Sheriff's Office will now be taking over the investigation.
I find it interesting that they showed those tracks in there.
She was last seen around midnight at a high school graduation party with more than 100 people. Kiley had texted her mother that night, telling her she would be leaving the party in about 45 minutes, and her mom texted her to be safe and told her she loved her. She said her daughter texted, Okay, Mom, I love you too. Kiley's silver Honda SUV had never been found until reportedly today.
So here you'll see the passenger window or the driver's side window is broken out and the mirror is smashed from the rollover process.
Yeah.
I don't. Let's the tracks. Somebody, Elizabeth, talk about the tracks. That's what I asked. I asked if there was any tracks that were visible, and evidently there wasn't. So I don't know why they showed the tracks.
They actually marked on the other side. There were some cones that they had marked going down the side of the beach on the other side, and somebody came out and said they can say there was nothing physically in those areas, but there was something there. So I'm guessing it was some kind of tracks or maybe footprints or something that they got.
Mm-hmm.
Guys,
go ahead, Ange.
No, it's Magic. If that's the case, then why didn't the other officers find the tracks or whatever? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
What'd you say? I didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
I can see where the tracks were made when they pulled the vehicle out. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Those were seen. But, they had a big rain. So there's only a little bit of dirt. And I went there in person, and when you feel this on the top there on that road part, it's very compacted dirt. It's not soft. And there's a tiny bit of sand on the top. So tracks can easily disappear really quick with vehicles going in and out of there.
And with the rain too.
With the rain, they had a lot of rain that happened, and so it rose the lake up as well. But they did have rain that probably washed most of the tracks away, and it was almost 2 weeks away, right? So people go down there and they go on, people out bringing their families there and their little floaties and stuff, so they get trampled on too. So
yeah, guys, get your hankies out because this is going to make you cry.
Miss Daisy, did you see in private chat where I sent you those 2 videos of how to get out of a vehicle if you're trapped?
Yeah, I'll see if I can bring them up. If I can, I'll play them too. Okay.
Okay, I was just making sure you saw them. Oh, that's fine.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Daisy,
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Top Cat's asking if you can go back to the tracks, please, because he said he wants to see the tread style.
Yes, sir. That's it right there, right?
Yeah, right there.
Hello, Trinda. Those cones may have just been traffic investigation for the car.
Those wouldn't be from
couldn't measure the water.
their
Do what, Ange?
Could that be their tracks from their mobile home or their little canoe boat thing?
It could be.
They also had, they didn't just have the cones marking areas. They also had a square, actually it was more of a rectangular area marked off with crime scene tape or whatever you call it, caution tape.
Yeah. And they do show her the full car completely being pulled up.
Yes.
Well, Buster and Top Hat both said ATV, and her dad was on a 4-wheeler. They showed him riding.
Yeah, they do have a lot of ATVs down there. Thank you, Top Cat. So he's saying these are ATV tracks right here. Those roads up there are for ATVs, dirt bikes. They're not even made for cars. It's basically going to be up there 4-wheeling.
Did you hear her dad tell him to get her out of there? Like
So
he
sad.
couldn't stand the fact of her being in there. And I would be the same way. I'd be like, get my baby out of there.
AWP was, telling them it's not a good idea to watch that, and the PI.
Yeah.
So he decided, I'm not going to watch this.
The papaw stayed though and did.
I'm pretty sure he did. I only seen the dad
He
drive
didn't leave
off.
her. They said that he sit there with her until they got her out. Because there was pictures of him sitting there.
Thanks, Top Hat, for that information. That was awesome.
Yeah,
thank you.
Top Cat's wise. Very wise man.
Yes. Okay, guys, get your hankies out.
You're going to make me cry?
I'm sorry. I think we're all going to.
Inside her car, which is just 14 feet of water. The team says they've notified family and law enforcement. Placer County Sheriff's Office will now be taking over the investigation.
She was last seen around midnight at a high school graduation party with more than 100 people. Kiley had texted her mother that night, telling her she would be leaving the party in about 45 minutes, and her mom texted her to be safe and told her she loved her. She said her daughter texted, "Okay, Mom, I love you too." Kiley's silver Honda SUV had never been found until reportedly today.
We believe out of the 200 to 300 juveniles and young adults who were at that party, somebody must know something.
Two people were murdered at the motel last night.
This just into our newsroom. The Nevada County Sheriff Coroner has confirmed the body found in the car that was pulled from Prosser Lake over the weekend is that of missing Truckee teen Kiley Rodni.
She just graduated high school at 16 with high honors. She's so intelligent and beautiful and just such a kind and wonderful person. We just want her home. We're so scared and we miss her so much and we love her so much. And Kiley, we love you. And if you see this, please just come home. I want nothing more than to hug you.
Guys, go over there and give them some love, you guys. Go over there and sub up to them, become members, donate to them. It's very, 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 very sad. Kiley's not the only one that they brought home. They have I told you guys it's very sad. They bring home people that has been missing for years and years. Yes, so please, please, please go over there and give them some support. They deserve every bit of support for finding this missing girl. Her mother would still be sitting up right now wondering if her daughter was still alive if it wasn't for AWP going in there and finding her. I meant adventures with purpose. Yep, absolutely.
What they do is amazing.
Yes, it makes you cry. It's so
It does.
sad that they did a wonderful job with this, you guys. They really did.
And I feel like they respected, did it in a respectful manner as best as they could.
Yes, yes. And I hope that justice is served. Now it's time for law enforcement to step up and find out what really happened to this beautiful 16-year-old child, because now more than ever, I do believe that she was not. I don't think that she was. I don't think she drowned. I think somebody stuffed her in that car. Maybe a lawyer and a PO and living in a remote house. Parents may have kept to themselves for safety reasons. They're going through a grieving process right now, you guys.
It is so sad. I couldn't imagine only 16 years old.
16 years old. But as you've seen and as you heard them talking about that there was an altercation between Kiley and someone, and then you've seen where the PI states that, and I'll bring that back up again, that that Kiley was not allegedly single, and there was some friction between Kiley and, hang on, I'm gonna see if I can find that again, between Kiley and somebody over another guy that was not Jaggard.
Correct.
So why did they all take off? That's what I'm wanting to know.
I'm having a really hard time with the whole PI thing too, and
yeah,
why he's bashing and well, I don't even say bashing, but he's throwing AWP under the bus. We can see
it's almost
what
like
they do is amazing, amazing work.
And they said that one of the people had been confirmed. That right there tells you that it could have probably been the J boy.
Maybe the PI's just because he didn't get to find her or get any good tips.
Somebody was asking for the pictures of the lake. Lady of Love was boots on the ground last Saturday, and we do have photos of that lake.
Yeah, that was all in a live stream we did.
Yeah, I'm going to go over some of those too here because some people wants to see them. So this is where she's showing Sherry that there's rocks and sand. This is parts of the lake right there, right?
Yeah, that's the island you can see. The island that's actually the island and behind is visible for where the actual party site was.
Mm-hmm.
And this is down by the water facing away from where they found Kiley.
This was the party over here, right?
Yeah, up in those trees is where the party was, up in the woods there. This is the road that you have to come all the way down. It's a lot further than people think. And plus go up another side on the right side, and then you go all the way up, and then you make a left, and then you have to go all the way up, and it's all a bunch of like ruts and bumps, and it's just like you're out four-wheeling. And my car, I had to stop and park my car. I couldn't take it all the way down to some areas. I have a Honda, and my Honda wouldn't make it.
Right. Look how beautiful that is, though. But this was the other side of the lake, right?
Correct. Yep. This is facing the campground area, and this is where they pulled Kiley up, coming from the right here on this picture.
Okay. Memorials that people had made.
Yes.
Oh, shoot. Darn it. Hang on. Let me take it down. Sorry. Darn.
They brought
Sorry.
flowers and they left some crystals, and then somebody put that heart memorial with rocks right there for her. Very, very sweet. And there was a stick with a tie-dye piece of cloth that was tie-dyed on there too. They left that there.
Sorry. Now I've got to go all the way back up there to. It's aggravating. This thing is. Okay.
Top Cat, yeah, I live about 2 hours away from this area.
Let me bring it back up. Sorry, guys, about that.
I am going back up there this weekend.
This is how steep. Are you standing down by the water and looking up?
Yeah, I'm standing up and I'm my camera's facing straight, so you can see how steep this is. And I'm 5'4", so
yeah. Look how
it's
steep
very, very
that is.
steep.
So she would have had to come down that hill there, right?
Right. She would have come straight down this hill if that's the course the car went, and went into the water. So it's very easy. Somebody could have took that car and put it on that edge and pushed it down, and it would have done exactly what it did.
Exactly. Look how steep that is. Wow.
Perfect.
And you can see up here by my bag just a little bit above my bag. Those are the drag marks where they pulled the car out there. So you can see where the water level was. Right where the flowers are, and just a little bit below those flowers in the heart, that is where the water line was when they pulled her out. So it even went down much further. You can see that in some other pictures. Those are the drag marks right there, and actually where the water was running out of the car.
So she went down, kind of like they pulled her out, kind of like at an angle. So she was more around here, right?
Yeah, because they had to flip the car, and then they also had to manipulate it to turn it around so they can get the rear up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was angled a little bit that way, or off that way a little bit.
Now tell about this.
That is somebody put that there. It is a V made by big 2x4 boards, and I don't know why anybody would do that, but we've seen that in some sacrificial linked to sacrifices. But I think somebody was trying to be, what people do, just to be cruel and unjust, and they do stuff like that.
They do mean stuff.
I don't get why anybody would do that unless somebody was doing that to mark for drone footage too. I just don't see why somebody would leave their mess though, if that's the case.
Right.
Well, they may have used those boards to put behind, tires to keep from being, something.
And I can say this: I was there on the weekend, on a Saturday, and there was no traffic. There was 2 cars down. There was one truck that came up by where I was, and then there was another truck on the other side over there. But I went all the way up to the party area. There was no traffic, nobody on this side of the water, because of the roads are so, they're crazy roads. You really have to have like a bigger vehicle to get through there, and
beautiful.
Not that much traffic over there. So is it possible that they could have come later and put a car in the dark time? Maybe there's no booth where you have to come in here and pay a fine to go in, or pay a fee to go in. It's just open. You just go right in there. There's nothing to stop at, nothing. I don't know if they had police patrol this area for those days, or had where they had to stop and check in, or people going out to check out. I don't know. It was last Saturday I went, so.
Wow. Here's where he says, I agree with you that Sammy and Kiley were not very close. Mags and Kiley were close, though. In fact, they had been on vacation together less than 2 weeks before Kiley went missing. I don't know if I agree. Mags, Kiley, and Mags' mom had just arrived back from vacation in Mexico, and from what I understand, it went really well. I doubt Mags is involved, if anyone is involved. And then here he says, no, in fact, when we saw the video they shot didn't show what gear the vehicle was in. We asked about going down. Doug from AWP said we only find the vehicles. Everything from there out is investigations, and we don't touch anything. Keep in mind, this is not a cold case. This just goes on to talk about it. And then here it is. This is the stuff that's shady about Sammy. He said, I'm told about 75 kids did show up for those teen-to-teen meetings. Although Sammy should not have diverted those leads to herself and made promises, I think she was outsmarted. I won't say more than that until the investigation is complete. Then I will tell the whole story. I'm so curious to hear what he has to say.
And just so everybody knows, he went back through and cleaned his Twitter account of anything Kiley until recently. So those are all gone.
Yep.
Luckily, I was part of that conversation, so I was taking screenshots.
He said, I cannot give details, but I can assure you all the windows were not up when it was found. It was safe to assume at least one window was down before the car was touched underwater. That's all I can say. So what he's saying is the truth because they've confirmed this.
Yeah, and that was prior to them releasing their videos.
Let me take it down. Sorry.
That's all right. I think they had maybe had a decoy police officer in those teen-to-teen meetings, Top Cat. That's what I take from that.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this live for tonight. I'm sorry. I think we've had a really, really good live, you guys, tonight over all this stuff. And I'd like to continue this on tomorrow night if y'all want to and find a little more information and talk about this a little further. If any of y'all have not subscribed to my channel, feel free to subscribe, hit that like button. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming up here. Thank you, Lady of Love, for your research. Thank you, everybody that's been up on panel, everybody that supported my channel by giving super chats and becoming a member. Please, you're welcome, honey. You're welcome.
I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
I got cold too, so.
Oh, feel better. I want to thank all my mods and everybody that come out and supported me tonight by subbing up to my channel or becoming a member, giving super chats. Anybody that watched my video here, anybody that chats and supports me that way. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting us tonight. Thank you, Lady of Love. Thank you, Magical Angel. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Come back anytime you want to. And we'll go back over this again tomorrow. And hopefully something will come out soon enough and we'll find out.
I think in the next couple of days, we're probably going to get some information come out, more stuff, because I think this is something's going to blow.
I do too. I absolutely do.
Especially with AWP putting out the video publicly now. Yeah, something's going to happen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Bye, guys.
So, thank you guys for coming out. Don't forget to join us tomorrow again for this live. If you've not subscribed, hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Feel free to join this channel anytime you want as members. Love you guys. Welcome to the Critters Crime. God bless and have a wonderful weekend. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, sweet Connie. Love you. Good night, everybody.